wait and see. LSU, however, that was, and I said this, just a couple minutes ago, that was the most complete team in the country. There were some things for Ohio State they're going to have to fix. The backs didn't look good. They didn't present a lot of pressure with their defensive ends. So there's some things that they have to develop. Man, LSU rolled out there, and they looked incredible. And to win against that experienced team, Clemson, in their house, in that environment, that was so impressive. I was really looking forward to seeing Nussmeier play this year, and he clearly improved. He did not make the mistake that was kind of a hallmark of his game a year ago. And then the Blake Baker in that defense, guys, like you talk about 3, 4, 5 steps forward from what they were a year ago. And watching Harold Perkins run around and that defensive line just own an experienced offensive line for Clemson, that's hands down now, I think. And we don't know about Georgia because who'd they play? Marshall. So It's like we don't know. But I know LSU is a premium team in the SEC. Georgia might join them. But Alabama certainly isn't. And A&M didn't look great. Tennessee will wait and see. They're trying to sing Joey Aguilar's praises like T. Martin walked back in the locker room. But it's like let's just wait and see on that. But LSU. If I'm in the SEC, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I think that the title rolls through the Tigers.
I mean, not an ideal result with Notre Dame losing on Sunday night, but if I said C.J. Carr is an upgrade from the experienced Sam Hartman and Riley Leonard, is that accurate?
I thought there were moments of that, yes. Yes. I think that you see... So with a young player, you're always going to get a lower floor. So those experienced guys, they raise the floor because they just don't make a ton of mistakes. But there was a very clear cap on their game. In particular, Leonard, who didn't throw the ball well. With Carr, you see that ceiling rise. So that cap is much higher, but the floor is lower. So low floor, high ceiling type of a guy, to use like a draft term. I was really impressed with Miami. I was really impressed because I still think Notre Dame is a very good football team. Like, there's 3 teams that lost this week that I still kept in the top 10 because I know they're still a really good team. Texas is still a really good team. Clemson is still a really good team. And Notre Dame is still a really good team. I was impressed with the environment. That's the first time that I've really seen since the old Orange Bowl, Miami really get it going in environment-wise. And I thought that was special. Beck is clearly healthy. And you're starting to see like, oh, yeah, maybe it was the horrendous wide receiver play at Georgia last year that caused him so many problems. Remember, they led the country in drops last year at Georgia, so he was scapegoated for some of their issues offensively. He looked good. Their line of scrimmage looked good. And so because of that, like,
hoodies and Next Round hats are all in one place. NextRound.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know. You might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all your favorite Next Round gear by visiting NextRound.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at NextRound.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from NextRound.store.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Honey, a while back, life knocked me flat on my behind. I was hit by an 18-wheeler, and Lord of mercy, it left me hurting. Now, I heard through the grapevine that Alexander Shannara had recovered big money for some people. You been hurt? Can't work? Don't sit there suffering. Call my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Ain't gonna cost you a dime, so pick up the phone and dial 659-COM, because when I called, Alexander Shannara answered.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, optimistic Wednesday as we roll in halfway through the week, working to Game 2. A lot of people ready to get on the field for Game 2, let me tell you. Not just in Tuscaloosa, all over college football. We'll talk about that coming up on the show. Brandon Marcello joins us in segment number 2 to kick things off here this morning as we get going. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Forrester, and Tyler and Brooks in the back right corner back there. And all the stuff on the show that you'll see from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino studio, punched up by Forrester and Tyler back there, and everything on social media with Brooks at Next Round Live. Like, follow, subscribe, and do all that stuff there. We start with the Associated Press poll that came out yesterday after the show around 1 o'clock. Alabama, what was they? They were 20th in the coaches. They're 21 in the media. Stayed in the poll. I thought they may drop all the way out, but they kept them in at 21. That is Alabama's lowest ranking in 17 years. Now, there are logos that are not in the top 25 there that would love to be in the top 25 for a week. 17 years since they've been that low and still in the top 25. That's a pretty good run. Oh, it's a great run, but it's not where you want to be. And when you leave ready-made, again, when Nick Saban took this thing over the last time they were ranked and put in this situation.
I just started the show off saying optimistic Wednesday, and we are 107 seconds into the show.
I want to bring up a program though.
Okay.
When USC lost, in my opinion, and John McKay was great, but Pete Carroll, what he was able to build there, and I know he only got 2 national championships out of it, but when he left, look, probation did come in, and that hurt him a little bit, but they've never been the same. They have never been the same. And I'm not saying Alabama's going to go the way of USC, but when you mentioned some of those teams that would love to be ranked right now, USC is one of those teams, and there is zero reason that USC, now in the Big Ten, should ever be out of the top 25. And really, my point was going to be, Kalen DeBoer's second year was supposed to be much better than year one. For them to be 21 right now is unacceptable. And sadly, we're not going to know anything over the next couple of weeks. You're not going to know anything about Louisiana Monroe. You're not going to really know anything about Wisconsin.
Oh, come on now. You can't roll a brand like Wisconsin out and take that for granted.
But you know what's scary?
You're not going to make the same mistake twice in 1 year.
Then you've got your most difficult game. So, like, you go from Alabama fans are melting down right now. So you get these 2 warm-up games, and then you go into the hostilest of territories.
Well, that's,
how many has Georgia won straight?
Whatever it is, it's the record, or it's the leader, the nation's leader. 23 at home? Is that it?
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
29, I believe.
29. But that is the scary thing. Lance is right about this, Jim, is as an Alabama fan, you are not going to know if anything is fixed for 2 weeks now. I mean, you could go out and beat Lamos 62-0 and Wisconsin 59-0. And still in the back of your mind, you're like, I don't know if we have fixed anything until we play a team like Georgia. And that's when you're going to figure it out.
Yeah, see, I think this is a week you want Missouri.
I
agree.
You
guys disagree?
I was trying to say that yesterday, and I just couldn't get it out right.
No way, do you agree?
No,
I do.
I don't.
Oh,
I think you want to play and you want to work. You want to build up some momentum.
You should have built in the offseason.
You don't have to. You don't have to take a final exam. I don't want to get into.
Well, Missouri's not a final exam. That's what I'm saying. Like Missouri's probably Florida State. Is that fair?
I'd just as soon, if I've been in a car wreck, to learn to walk before I have to run.
Okay, I would just like to see. I know what Lance is saying here, and I was trying to say this yesterday, and I couldn't get it out right. If I'm an Alabama fan, what?
Nothing.
If I'm an
You're
Alabama
not doing
fan,
great right now.
But if I'm an Alabama fan, I would like, because what we're talking about is you're not going to know if you fix anything until Georgia. If I played at least a mid-tier SEC opponent, I could get a pretty good gauge if I got something fixed.
Yeah, there's going to be no excitement surrounding this program again until they have a big win. And if they lose to Georgia, like, I know there are boosters behind the scenes right now trying to calculate how do we get to 70 million. There are people that are already done with Kalen DeBoer. They are, and it's sad.
That's
again,
Lance, you're saying you've talked to boosters that are tabulating it to get to $70 million. Come on, that's not true. Come on.
That is true.
After one loss.
Oh, well, I don't think they think it's one loss. I think they go back to last year, and I think they look at 5-5 over the last 10 games. I think they look at 6-4 against unranked teams. Again, I'm going to die on the Kalen DeBoer hill.
Yeah.
I think this ends up being still a good season. Now, do I think they win the national championship? It seems far-fetched at this moment.
It's hard to make that.
But look, that was an August game. There is a ton of football to be played, and you can lose maybe 3 games and get into a college football playoff still. there are a ton of boosters that are severely pissed off right now.
Yeah, I would say that I've lived through a couple of weird seasons. 1991. I mean, that you guys forget. Not you guys. Y'all remember. Y'all are professionals, but a lot of people who follow Alabama forget just how bad the beatdown was in the swamp in 1991.
I believe that was week 2, wasn't it?
Yep.
I think Alabama had opened with a cupcake.
It was week 2.
And then it was week 2. I'm not saying that makes any difference. I'm just saying I'm putting it in perspective.
And but it was against the first real opponent.
Yeah.
And you ended up winning a lot of games in a row after that.
But isn't that when Barker took over?
It was.
Yeah.
It was in the middle of that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everything was different. And what they went to the Blockbuster Bowl, beat Colorado.
That's
right. That's right.
And then won the national championship the next year.
In 1977, now they opened with Ole Miss, but Ole Miss wasn't what they were in 1977 that they are now. And then they went on the road, another on-the-road game at a brand name in Nebraska. I think they threw 5 interceptions in that game. And then they went on to win the rest of those games. And then the next 2 years, they won national championships. Now, as many people, when I tweeted that this morning, pointed out, Jim, you're not saying that Kalen DeBoer is Bear Bryant or Gene Stallings. No, I'm not. And you're not saying that they're a year away from winning the national championship. No, I'm just saying
he's a better coach than Gene Stallings.
I'm just saying there's one loss when both those games the team played like dog crap. Now the effort was there. That's the big difference. That's the most
difference.
alarming thing. But the effort was different. But those were 2 really bad, sloppy losses on the road at name brands to teams that ended up not having. I guess Florida had a good year. They ended up winning the SEC in 91.
Yeah,
they finished 10-2. That was a good Florida team.
You mentioned the effort. Like, I don't know what you do about that. I mean, you can come out and you can play bad games, and if Alabama was -3 in turnovers, then I think you could question it a different way. I don't know how you get back effort and attitude. Effort and attitude, I mean, those are kind of instilled in you, and once you buy into either no effort and no energy or a lot of effort and a lot of energy, I just don't know how you flip that switch.
Yeah.
That's what's going to be difficult.
I would say this, Dunaway, back to 1991. If Herb had started WJOX by then, which he had not, it didn't start till 92.
Really?
Yeah.
Herb was VOK then, I think?
It was VOK back then. So WJOX had not hit the market yet. But had it.
So we were sports talk with Eli Gold in the afternoon.
That is, what was that? Calling All Sports?
Calling All Sports.
But had it started by then, my point was going to be, I think the same exact conversations would be.
Ryan Blaney was so good at the Coca-Cola 600 this weekend.
Wow. Eli invitation out of nowhere. I didn't know you had one.
But first, let's talk about Alabama's loss down in Gainesville.
Sports talk was so different back then.
But my point was going to be.
Phone lines are open 930-9600, 930-9600. But first, let me tell you about our friends at Lavoie's.
I'm sure that was it. But had Herb started WJOX by then, the same conversations would have been had because people were done with Gene Stallings after that 35-0 loss. People were done with Gene Stallings after that first season. He saved a little bit of it by beating Auburn. It was the first time Alabama had beaten Auburn in 4 years, but then they go get embarrassed by Louisville in the Fiesta Bowl. I mean, absolutely embarrassed by Louisville. So everything he'd built up, he kind of lost again. Then they get embarrassed by Florida. People were done with Gene Stallings. And I'm not saying, I'm like you, I'm not saying that means anything for Kalen DeBoer, but I am saying there are coaches who have gotten to this situation before. I'll give you another example, and I had no idea this was going to happen this weekend, potentially. No idea. Kirk Ferentz.
Oh, I have this written down right here. I was about to bring it up.
Did you know this?
Yeah. That he lost 18 of his first 20?
He lost 18 of his first 20, Kirk Ferentz did. And if they beat Iowa State this weekend, he will be the Big Ten's all-time winningest coach. And I had no clue he was that close to that.
Passing Woody freaking
But I got to ask you this. What has he accomplished?
Well, he hasn't much. But
I hate to say it like that, but...
But my point is, there are plenty of coaches that you were ready to crumble up and throw to the trash bin. And given patience, they turn this thing around. Now,
one footnote.
I've got a footnote too.
Kirk Ferentz has been coaching so long that he has coached longer than 59 FBS head coaches have been alive.
Yeah, that is amazing to me.
That is pretty amazing.
Yeah. So the longevity after 18
but you know what the difference is, Brown? The money you get paid.
No. There are a lot of differences. And the other thing though is, I don't know what Kirk Ferentz took over. It probably wasn't good. I remember what Gene Stallings took over. It wasn't terrible. That was an SEC championship team.
I mean, Kirk took it over from Hayden Fry, right?
Yeah. But nobody took it over better than what Kalen DeBoer took it over.
No.
And that's what makes this so glaring right now.
That's our Bojangles. It was going to be later on. Our
Let's do it.
Bojangles tender moment of the day right there is a little Kirk Ferentz
Nothing.
story.
When I think Tinder, I think Kirk Ferentz.
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
I mean, he swiped right on a lot of wins.
He did. I don't know what that means. Oh, Tinder. I got you. From sweet to heat, Bojangles.
you know what it
I
means.
got you. Bojangles has 7 sauces that will definitely add a little extra flavor to every bite. Nothing pairs better with those sauces than the hand-breaded tenders. So if you're looking for sweet, try honey mustard. You want to add some tang, try barbecue. You want some heat, creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. If you're craving smooth and creamy, the house-made ranch jalapeno rancher classic Bo sauce ready and waiting. Head to Bojangles, order some of those hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today, and make it your tailgate food and your college football watch party food. Let them cater those parties at your house. It is Bo time.
Hey, and another winning night at Lance's Lock, always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Again, free play every single day. NFL action kicking tomorrow night. No college action tomorrow night, but we've got NFL not only tomorrow night, Friday night with college action. We'll have all the winners up for you. Free play every single day at lanceslock.com. It is always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Whether you experience any plumbing, heating, cooling issues in your home or business, trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of these issues. Hard to stop a train. For more information, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
I apologize for sure. Let's get back to the really cool AP Top 25 graphic, if you will, on the AP poll. We went to story time really quick there, but let's talk about the rankings. Ohio State, number 1 there. A little note here. This is the first time they've been ranked in a regular season AP poll, number 1, since 2015.
That's Urban Meyer.
Wow.
That is a long time. Yeah. Well, I mean, but think about how many times Alabama, Georgia, and Clemson have gobbled up that one spot since then. That's been a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, they have been that 4th team.
Yeah.
So that is a little surprising. It's been a decade.
Yeah, that shocked me.
A lot surprising.
That shocked me when I saw that. Penn State is number 2. LSU is number 3. Other than Florida State, the biggest riser in the poll, LSU there.
Best win of the weekend. I mean, they go on the road. Clemson is – I mean, we all said gun to head, one team to win a Power 4 conference. Everybody went Clemson. How quick do you change that now?
Yeah.
No.
Like, and it really was just – and I know you'll get to this, and I'm sure you got it on your sheet there, you know, the Brian Kelly and the back and forth with Dabo Swinney.
I got it on 2 sheets.
Yeah, but – they were so freaking dominant in the second half. Like, the first half, when that game went to halftime, I thought Clemson was winning the game. I don't know where you guys were on that. I felt like Clemson was winning the game.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. LSU definitely flexed in the second half.
But that was the best win of week 1, followed by Ohio State.
I agree
And then
with
Florida State probably had the 3rd best win.
Yeah, Florida State 14th in that ranking. By the way, Texas, number 1 loser, drops down to number 7. A little history lesson here. The furthest drop after week 1 by a number 1 team since Auburn lost in 1984 as the preseason number 1 team. They lost to Miami, the defending national champs, so Auburn should have won it and now claimed the 83 championship. They lost in that kickoff classic in East Rutherford, and Auburn dropped down to number 8. So Texas to 7, Auburn to 8.
I mean, look, is Texas going to fall out of the top 10 this year? I'm not sure. Again, I think they probably still lose another game or 2. But 7's about right. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I thought they looked terrible offensively, but that defense for Ohio State. Whew.
No, a different world back then. I mean, Auburn dropped to 8, and you're like, that may cost us the national championship.
Oh, yeah.
And, in fact, it did.
Yeah.
Texas drops to 7 right now. They're like, all right.
Yeah, guess what? If you never drop out of the top 12,
That's right,
you're going to
good
be
to
there.
go.
South Carolina in the top 10 in the regular season for the first time since December of 2013.
I think it's you've got to put teams, you got to rank teams. I did not think South Carolina looked like a top 10 team.
I did not either.
Well, I tell you what South Carolina looked like. They look like I don't want to bring up 2010 Auburn, but Lenore Sellers looked like he didn't have a lot of help out there.
Well, you saw something now. To your point, in 2010 Auburn, they had some close calls against lesser opponents early in the season, and it continued to build and build and build and build until they were unbeatable and national champions. But I did not see what you guys, like your Cam Newton comparison. I did not see that in Lenore Sellers yet.
I look, it's hard to. I mean, Cam Newton had arguably the greatest season in the history of college football. I am just saying there are a lot of similarities between Lenore's. When you look at the size, you look at his ability to tuck it, you can't get him down. Like him to extend the chains at the end of that game, absolutely put it away. And then he can just flip it 60 yards just, on the fly. I just think the guy, the upside is so much there. I just don't know how much he's got around him. He completed 3 passes to wide receivers on Sunday. That was it. 3 passes.
I know. But moved to second in the Heisman poll. Heisman odds.
Because I thought he looked that good, though.
And his team's in the top 10. I mean, it's just I don't know what Virginia Tech is. You think they lose to Vanderbilt this weekend? That's, it's a toss-up game.
I don't feel great, but I'm just saying, yeah.
It's basically a pick-em. I think it's still at 1 at mybookie.ag, but I don't know what Virginia Tech is. I'm just saying that was not a top 10 win to me.
Oh,
All right, so that's the AP poll out. Polls mean nothing, but for those that gripe and moan about preseason rankings, we played one Saturday of football. Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Friday too, but one weekend of football. And wild adjustments to where you have now after another week, you've got a different number 1 team. You got Texas 7, you got Alabama 21. I mean, so it doesn't matter, the polls. If you gripe about the preseason rankings, it doesn't matter. Here we are.
But if you didn't have preseason rankings, Alabama wouldn't be ranked, would they?
I don't know. Probably not. Maybe not. So you're saying if I just crafted a top 25 based out of this weekend?
If you are an AP voter and you were told, hey,
this weekend's all you can consider.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
They can't be a top 25.
It would have been tough,
yeah.
It would be tough, but I would say that really when you do your second poll, that sort of is what you're doing. You're sort of watching it going. But here's the flip side of that. With Alabama's name and the respect of that program, you'd probably, if you'd never done a preseason, you'd probably have Florida State in the top 10.
Oh, yeah. Well, look.
I just think there are voters that are like, I can't jump a team from outside of the top 10. I can't do that.
Yeah,
I think that's a silly way to vote, but that's the way some people vote.
Yeah. Indiana and Alabama would be out of this one, I think.
Or maybe you could sit there and go, if you had not done a preseason ranking, maybe you sit there and you watch the weekend and you do your first ranking, you go, okay, man, I think that Florida State team's pretty good. So maybe Alabama's not as low as 21. Maybe you got Alabama like at 15. That's what 16. I was going to say. That's the irony is you might not have Alabama in, but you would certainly have Florida State higher than they do.
I can't figure out how good Florida State is.
I think they're like an 8-4 team, which is going to – that sounds like an insult. I get it. But if you go from 2 wins to 8 wins, that is one heck of an improvement by Mike Norvell.
Well, I drafted them on Calcutta, and I got them like in the 6th or 7th round, so I hope they go undefeated. But I don't know if they're that good.
I think they will. Yep. Let's get to our sound of the day today, being brought to you by Alexander Shannara. It's going to come from Tuscaloosa, and it's going to come from the guy you want talking about the Alabama standard and the message to the team is the guy who came with the coach from Washington, but he is the face of the program right now, and Germie Bernard. We're going to hear from him after Brownie tells us about Alexander Shannara. Yeah, he's the trial attorney that's a national firm with Southern roots. He's headquartered right here in Birmingham for more than 24 years. Alexander Shannara's firm has grown to more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members. And they've recovered more than $2 billion, maintaining Alexander's core values: integrity, mastery, passion, and success. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shannara.com, Shannara.com. All right, here's Germie Bernard, who will be with us on the show Monday. That is scheduled to be Monday. A little confusion this past week on our end, but yes. Yeah, not on Germie Bernard. No. On all the adults involved. It was all on us. It was not the student athlete, but here is the student athlete who was at Washington on that great team that was the national runner-up. He chose to come with Kalen DeBoer to Alabama, where he's now one of the leaders of this team. And so, he didn't really come out of high school as an Alabama guy, but he had a chance this week to talk about the Alabama standard.
Commitment, discipline, toughness, pride, just playing hard, coming out here, playing relentless, being consistent each and every play, showing tremendous effort. Toughness, like I said, toughness is really one of the big key factors in pride. Having pride, lining up other guy next to you, this guy's trying to take something away from you. You got to go out there and dominate them every single play, and that's why I'm telling the guys y'all got to have that pride when y'all go out there and play, bro. this dude trying to stop you from feeding your family. Like, you finna let this dude stop you from feeding your family? Like, nah, I can't let that happen. Like, so everybody got to play with that edge, and that's what I'm trying to bring to the guys.
Okay, so that's what the Bama standard means to him. And then here's his message to the team. So the follow-up.
Back to money, though. You're feeding the family.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the mentality you got to have is that, for a lot of these guys, they want to go to the NFL too. Here's Bernard.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about being tested. We talked about having adversity. So, just as a leader, I'm just encouraging guys to lean into their faith a little bit more. Just being able to be that leader in this time. I mean, a lot of people, they probably haven't been through tough adversity. So just kind of guiding them through it, just continuing to tell them that our goals is still the same goals that we have. We got to go out there. We got to be better. We got to work harder. So it all just, it started Sunday. So with our lift and with our practice that we had. So we're just coming up and we're showing up every single day, trying to give our best.
I don't want to put words in his mouth, but it worked for one team in our state earlier. He's telling everybody to lean into their faith a little more. Is he saying we're going to call God a little bit in this? We'll see if the calling of God will help Alabama as well.
Well, I just. Some of those messages, it's perplexing to me that you have to preach those messages after game one. Klatt said it best. Old school Alabama teams, and again, I'm not doing the DeBoer-Saban comparison. I try to avoid that as much as I can. But that was one of the most amazing things about Nick Saban. He was able to go out and get the best players in America. And as Klatt said, and those guys came to Alabama and played like they were playing for their next meal. That was what was amazing about Saban, is he got stars to come to Alabama and play like they were playing for their next meal.
Yeah, and that's because the number twos also were stars.
And
absolutely. And if you didn't play with that effort, you were going to sit. You were never going to have the stage to showcase your skills to get to the next level. Now guys are making seven figures, and you know what? If you have to sit, you can go somewhere else.
But Germie Bernard said and he didn't say this, but when he says they're trying to take food from your family, you got to get out there and play like you're playing for your next meal. Yeah. I mean, that's the way you win football games.
So I've gone back and watched the game now for a third time.
God, that had to be hard.
Yeah, that's torturous.
You're able to watch the game live, and then you go back and watch it, see if there are things you didn't pick up, and then you go back and watch specific things. And there's one guy who's gotten a couple of bad moments on TikTok and social media, Bray Hubbard.
Yep, they're out there.
And there's a couple. There's a few plays. It wasn't just one. There was a few plays, and that's a guy who was being talked about high in the NFL draft. High. He was he was circled as one of those dogs at Alabama that NFL scouts love. I mean, when you put that on tape, I wonder how that impacts your NFL. I mean, that's costing you. I know you talk about the money they're getting now.
Yeah.
That's costing you a lot more money than you're getting now.
I'm still baffled. I was talking to an Alabama guy this morning on the way in, and I brought up the conversation with Brock Hewitt on Unlocked yesterday. And much like Klatt, he's completely baffled because, he was around DeBoer and Ryan Grubb and that staff when they were in Seattle at Washington, his alma mater. And he said, man, you can ask Herbstreit, you can ask Klatt, you can ask any NFL scout. When they were on campus watching Kalen DeBoer and his team's practice, they were so buttoned up and they were so professional-like. He was like, none of this makes any sense. So, I really just don't think geography's that big of a deal, is it? You leave Seattle, you take your culture to Tuscaloosa. It's completely different from the culture that was instilled from Nick Saban. But you've always had a winning culture everywhere you've been, so why can't you win in Tuscaloosa? That's what doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm with you. It is very perplexing.
I listened to that on the golf course, on the way to the golf course yesterday.
How'd you play?
On our app. I shot an 89. Anything in the 80s just to excite me now. 89s don't do it for me anymore.
That's why golf's frustrating.
But the Next Round app, I hear Unlocked live on that Next Round app. It is available for you wherever you get the Next Round. Both Monday Morning Live and Unlocked right there in the Next Round feed on your podcast platforms this year. So if you're looking for that, they're not separated by themselves anymore. They're wherever you get our normal show. You get Unlocked and Monday Morning Live with Luke and Bill there. Go back and listen to Brock. It was a fascinating conversation, him talking about Kalen DeBoer in Seattle as opposed to Kalen DeBoer that we saw this past week down in Tallahassee. Lance and Brock Heward yesterday with Unlocked. When we come back, Brandon Marcello joins the show that's being brought to you by a couple of great sponsors. One of them, our friends at mybookie.ag.
Yeah, code next round when you sign on right there at mybookie.ag. You can play all the games coming up this weekend. You know, we mentioned Wisconsin, Alabama's future opponent. I was looking at them earlier today, a 28.5-point favorite over Middle Tennessee. If you want to watch that one, Alabama and Auburn, of course, big favorites. Auburn against Ball State and Alabama against Louisiana Monroe. The NFL game there for tomorrow night as well. The Eagles line has just kept going up and up and up. You can play that right now at mybookie.ag. Code next round when you sign up at mybookie.ag. Code next round. And your first bet after you sign up using code next round is guaranteed up to $500. That's their bet back bonus. You make the bet. If you happen to lose, they just put the $500 right back into your account, up to $500 right back into your account, and you can play it again right there at mybookie.ag. That's when you sign up and use code NEXTROUND, mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.ag, code next round.
I cannot believe it's already Wednesday, but you're already starting to make plans. What are you going to do for this football Saturday, the first football NFL weekend, first NFL Sunday? Stop by the New York Butcher Shop. Pick up the best in meats, from the steaks, the ribs, the chicken, the pork, the made fresh sides in-house, absolutely delicious, from the baked beans, the mac and cheese, the mashed potatoes with the goat cheese, prepared foods, catering, fantastic selection of fine wines and desserts. 2 locations, the original Cava Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. Get and see Jim and that great staff. Rare quality, well-done service. It's the New York Butcher Shop.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, company truck accident, a car accident, or work-related accident? Call Alabama's largest personal injury firm. Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys will fight for every dollar you deserve, and it won't cost you a dime. Trust me. What do you say, man?
Call me, Alabama.
Call 659-777-7777 or go to Shinara.com.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Excitement awaits at Barber Motorsports Park for the UAB Medicine GT World Alabama Benefiting Teal Wings of Hope, September 5th through 7th. Witness some of the most iconic sports cars like Lamborghini, McCarron, and Ferrari battle it out on the track. Enjoy the beer gardens, food trucks, kids zone, garage, and more. The UAB Medicine GT World Alabama. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets today.
Get all your favorite Next Round gear all in one place, nextround.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt, you can look your best by shopping with us at nextround.store. Take the Next Round anywhere with nextround.store. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Get all your favorite Next Round gear all in one place. Nextround.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt. You can look your best by shopping with us at Nextround.store. Take the next round anywhere with Nextround.store.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Catch up on all today's Next Round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcast, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the Next Round. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
All right, Brandon Marcello joins us in a second. My friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, I'm gonna add to what LT mentioned a little bit here, give it a little context in the first segment. Urology Centers of Alabama brings you part of the show today. 16 locations. For over 70 years, they've been helping you out. UrologyCentersOfAlabama.com. Prostate health, the kidney stones, the best in the business. Find a location near you. Stay on top of your health, guys. 205-930-0920. UrologyCentersAlabama.com. LT brought up something earlier. Chris Lowe writes today at On3 Sports. There's genuine concern, not the embellished type, among Alabama power brokers and boosters about what they've seen, or more accurately, what they haven't seen from the Crimson Tide under DeBoer. From Chris Lowe today at On3 Sports. You can go read that.
I just think it was one of those off seasons that the way the season ended and some of those bad losses and how you couldn't explain how Alabama would be so high one week and so low the next week, I think there was a lot of optimism coming into the season, and a lot of these boosters that were unsure wanted to see how the season played out. And, boy, all it took was week 1 to see no effort and for Alabama to get their ass whipped. And now, obviously, what is it, DEFCON 1?
DEFCON 1's the bad one.
Yeah.
Brandon,
we're almost there, by the way.
Brandon Marcello, are we at 2 right now? Is it 2?
I think we're at 2.
Brandon Marcello, CBS Sports with us, and he covers college football better than anybody. He's there. He talks to people. He sees the games. First of all, welcome in, Brandon. I hope you're doing well.
Doing great, guys. What's up?
Not much. Are you surprised 14 games into the Kalen DeBoer era we are having this discussion?
Yes. He's a great coach. And I think that's very clear from his past, his record and everything. But, again, sometimes things are just about fit. He also inherited a program, obviously, that was led by the greatest coach of all time. And even the greatest coach of all time was realizing that things were changing within that program, right? Talking about players coming into his office right after, the playoff against Michigan and asking about money. And that kind of turned a switch for Nick Saban that was already leaning that direction of maybe I need to get out of this. Maybe I need to retire. And then Kalen DeBoer comes in there and inherits that changing culture and atmosphere. And he's never coached in the South. He's never obviously been in the SEC, where you've got to be a hardened coach in a lot of ways. I mean, there's a lot of personalities, several personalities in the SEC, like a Shane Beamer or even Eli Jinkowitz, but they've got firm control of their programs to the point of, not to say players fear them, but they respect the heck out of him, and they've always got the answers. And I think Kalen, very much so, as you guys know, is just one of the nicest guys. And I think that maybe this has not been the proper culture fit, even though he is a great coach. And, it's been said over and over again. I'm sure you guys have said it and others have said it, I'm sure, on your show, but that Alabama defense just looks soft. It looks lost. And it's concerning that, the 3 losses over this last year that really stick out to me are against teams that love to run the quarterback and also love to do a lot of pre-snap eye candy. Vanderbilt, Michigan, and now Florida State. And not to say now that the book is out on Alabama, but you can bet even some other teams that are on the schedule coming up have noticed that, and they might not run similar things to a Florida State or a Vanderbilt last year, but they're going to implement some of that stuff. So Alabama better be ready for it. It's just, does the coaching staff have the mindset that matches the mindset and the wavelength of the players on the roster? And if you are playing that way in your season opener, I don't know how you fix all of this in the middle of a season when you only had when the window is much shorter to prepare and to get into your players' brains. So for anybody thinking, man, maybe I'm overreacting, everything will be better. You're not overreacting, because I've seen this story time and time before, and it's very, very difficult, if not next to near impossible, to change some of the things and habits I saw on that field Saturday.
Okay, when we talk about cultural transitions, could you, if you're an Alabama fan, if you're trying to be optimistic, because we weren't doing this show in Baton Rouge, but if you look at Brian Kelly, when he took the LSU job, I think all of us were like, damn, he is going to win a national championship. It's just a matter of time. And now we're in year 4 after losing 3 consecutive openers, which I'm sure a lot of LSU fans were saying the same things over the last couple of years that Alabama fans are saying. And now everybody believes LSU might be the best team in college football. I don't know if Kalen DeBoer will get a full 4 years, but if you're an Alabama fan, could you be optimistic and kind of look at Brian Kelly's a great coach, but going from Notre Dame to LSU is a drastic difference. Same going from Washington to Alabama.
I would counter with this: LSU didn't look that bad in those openers as LSU.
The
LSU
one against Florida State when they got whipped that second half. So that was year 2, wasn't it? I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, year 1 they lost to sloppy one against Florida State, and then year 2 they got blown out in 2023.
I think this is still different. It's one thing for the score. It's the one way for the way they played. It's just, I didn't have much confidence in Alabama at all coming out of that game. The only saving grace to me is they're loaded. They've got a lot of talent, so it's up to the players to see if they can kind of get on the same wavelength as the coaches. This is when you need some players that are in that locker room to step up and lead everybody else. Can they do that? That's going to be a lot up to the players, but also the coaches trying to find a way to galvanize that and get it going. I also say that, the defensive issues that we saw pop up, obviously, against Florida State, we saw the hints of it last season too. As I mentioned in those previous games. Listen, it's hard to have a lot of confidence right now because, listen, I mean, losing the game the way they did on the road, we've got this idea in our head, hey, maybe an SEC team with 3 losses can get into the playoff, but the way Alabama lost that game, I don't think they can afford more than one more loss. Their backs are completely against the wall, and I do wonder how the boosters and everybody will react if they lose 2 more games or 3 more games. I think it might be a foregone conclusion at that point with 3 losses. The other issue is, as you guys know, is that Alabama, their NIL program is not what it is at LSU. It's not quite what it is at even Georgia and maybe even Florida based off of the numbers I've seen. And that's got to change too, potentially, going forward. And is the booster culture and everything and the fundraising there at Alabama? I think in a lot of ways, Alabama is kind of stuck in the past, and the future has come at them quickly in this new era. And you can't just lean on we're Alabama. We win ball games. Well, players still want money. The top players still want money. And there's just a lot of things I think Alabama's got to figure out that they should have figured out this offseason, and I think it's very clear they did not.
Brendan making it sound like they may need to use that 800 credit score here pretty soon and call somebody to get some money. Brandon Marcello is with us on the Alexander Shannara hotline. All right, okay, Alabama to the side. There's other football going on. You had a chance to hit the road this weekend. Let's go Arch Manning first. I mean, that's a tough ask. Texas at Ohio State, no matter how good Arch had played in that game, to have an outcome. What do you think the pressure is on Arch Manning going into San Jose State this week in a game that he should put up good numbers? Are there Texas people, you think, starting to doubt whether or not Newman High School and what he's done so far at Austin has been enough for Arch Manning to be the guy that they thought he was going to be?
I think so. I heard some Texas fans even at the game afterward walking around questioning him. I think he's a great quarterback. I do think Texas made the mistake, and Sarkisian admitted this after the game, that they should have had more designed runs for Arch Manning early in the game. They didn't do that, and you could tell watching from the press box. One, Ohio State's secondary is elite and was locking down everybody beyond the first down markers. The issue for Arch was you could see that he was standing in the pocket, was getting some good protection, but it was almost as if he was telling himself, don't take off and run, don't take off and run, don't take off and run. And I think that hurt them in the first quarter and a half. And then they didn't do any designed runs for him until they got inside the 10-yard line. And then, of course, they got stopped at the goal line, that goal line stop on that same exact possession. They should have been running him a few more times earlier in the game to get him relaxed, but also take advantage of his strengths. You guys saw it last year. When he came in off the bench, it was primarily as a runner. He didn't really have to throw the ball until he had to start games in place of Quinn Ewers because he was running the offense. Both teams went into that game, Ohio State and Texas, and with the intention of playing conservatively offensively. Both of them did. The problem is that Ohio State played into Julian Sain's strengths at quarterback, and Texas did not play into Arch Manning's strengths. Now, in the fourth quarter, when it was 2-minute drill time and they had to go up tempo, that's more of Arch Manning's style. He played more free. He had the ability to create and run if he had to, if something wasn't there. He had the pressure of the game on him instead of Steve Sarkisian trying to take the pressure of the game out of his hands early in the game. And I think that hurt Texas. They'll learn from it. Manning's definitely not as bad as he showed Saturday, but again, it was against a top 5 defense in my opinion. But also, I just think Sarkisian did not put him in a very good spot to be successful early.
Brandon Marcello is with us, National College Football reporter for CBS Sports. Some have asked in the chat room about the middle 8. Brandon and I did that show last year. Unfortunately, his responsibilities with CBS Sports prevented us from doing that. So people still remember us fondly, Brandon.
And that's a great thing for Brandon, right? His career continues to grow.
Yes. This is good for Brandon. Bad for us.
Well,
good for Brandon.
I miss doing it, and I tried to get it done. I couldn't get it done.
Yeah, it's just, it's one of those things, man. Brandon's somebody pays his check, and it wasn't us full time. So he made the right choice there. Brandon's still with us, though, in the Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys Hotline. This Miami team feels different. It feels like they fixed their biggest issue, which was defense. They had a dominant offense under Shannon Dawson last year, but Lance Guidry couldn't get that defense turned around. Am I buying in too much? I know, Notre Dame scored some points, but it feels like Miami has fixed their Achilles heel.
Yeah, I know everybody's focused on the offense and, Carson Beck, but the defense was the real story in that game. If you watched Miami at all last year, they were terrible against everybody defensively. Their secondary was just Swiss cheese. And they went in the portal, got all new guys in the back end. Of course, they always had good pieces on the front end, including Ruben Bain, who's just phenomenal, as you guys saw in that game against Notre Dame. But their issue was on the back end. Then they went and got Corey Heatherman out of Minnesota, who runs a lot of multiple sets, is very aggressive with his linebackers and defensive linemen, and puts a lot of trust in his secondary to cover their ass in a lot of ways for what he wants to do up front. But because they're so good up front, it's going to help the secondary if they're a little bit more aggressive. And that secondary is light years better than what it was last season because of the new pieces they brought in. Let's see them a few more games, obviously. Notre Dame's offense is not one designed to necessarily just scare the crap out of you for what they can do throwing the ball over the top. But this is I think it was about as good of a start you could ask for Miami's defense going forward. Offensively, Carson Beck still had some throws there. I mean, he was bailed out by his receivers a couple of times. But that wasn't the case last year for him at Georgia. His receivers were hurting him. They led the Power 5 in drop passes, but now he's got receivers that he can trust. But he was still a little off target at times. That could be a little bit concerning. There's going to be some turnovers down the stretch, and he's just got to know and pick his spots when to go big and when to just kind of tuck and run the ball or throw it away.
Brandon, I see your light bright ticker back there. I saw Oklahoma roll by with Michigan, a 5-point favorite, a total of 45.5. Who are you more excited to see quarterback-wise, Mateer or Bryce Underwood on Saturday night?
Bryce Underwood, just because I haven't seen him in person, and I watched on TV the replay of their game against New Mexico, and that dude's got a whip of an arm. I mean, the ball comes out so fast. We know what he can do as a runner, but I guess just from watching a highlight film of him in high school, I saw everything, but then to see it against, FBS program and in his first start, just the quick decision-making by him was impressive. And I'm very excited to see what he can do against this OU defense. And by the way, he's going against an OU defense that is now being coordinated by Brent Venables. Last year, he wasn't calling the plays. And Brent Venables loves to terrorize freshman quarterbacks dating back to his days back at Clemson. He fed off of those guys. He made them look silly when they looked good in other games. So I'm more excited to see Bryce Underwood, though I can't wait to see John Mateer as well against Michigan. Michigan's defense gives me a little bit of concern going into this game. Hopefully it is a phenomenal game. I mean, it's obvious, much like Miami, OU has kind of taken that next step forward with their offense instead of their defense. And that was what really was plaguing them last year. But, OU, I think, also gets lost last year. They dealt with a lot of injuries up front and at receiver. And so they did change some things, but they did bring some guys back along the O-line and also at receiver. So their thing is they got to stay healthy, but now they've got a quarterback that they've got some trust in, because last year that coaching staff had zero confidence in Jackson Arnold, and it very much showed in their play calling. And when the injuries popped up, it all kind of snowballed.
Brandon, Hugh Freeze's first tee shot of the season, right down the middle of the fairway. That win at Baylor was impressive.
Yeah, I wonder if he's golfing any this week.
Yeah.
He can now. When you win, you can play, right?
This will be the week to do it,
That's
man.
right,
Great weather here. He's 1-0. Alabama's 0-1.
You win, you play.
I mean, he could get 36 in today.
Might need to check that database to see if he logs any scores.
I think that has slowed down a little bit, yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's a great performance. Them running the ball the way they did with Jackson Arnold, very, very impressive. The passing game will come, you would think. That game reminded me a lot, with Jackson Arnold at least, it reminded me a lot of some of the early season games for him last year at OU, where he had to kind of take that offense on his back because of some injuries, and he had to run the ball to win some games. I'm especially thinking of the Tulane game last year. But this is much different. He's got a much better offensive line at Auburn, which, I mean, goodness gracious, if you're an Auburn follower, how long has it been since you could say Auburn's had a good to great offensive line? It's been a very long time. And defensively, they're just hard hitting. I will say this, there were three games that stuck out to me this past weekend, just as far as the physicality, the hitting. It was Auburn, Baylor, Ohio State, Texas, and Miami, Notre Dame. Those were kind of the hardest hitting games I saw. And that's a good thing for Auburn, because it seems that they've kind of got that toughness factor back with them this season.
All right, go follow Brandon on social media at @BMarcello. Read him at CBS Sports and see him at CBS Sports. A lot of video there as well. CBSSports.com for all of that. Brandon, it is always wonderful talking with you. We appreciate the time and your thoughts on week one.
All right. See you guys.
All right,
Thank
buddy.
you.
Yeah, man. Take care. Brandon Marcello with us. And he joined us on the Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys Hotline.
And the show being brought to you by the great folks at Central State Bank, man. Part of your neighborhood, part of the fabric that makes Alabama great.
No doubt. It is a bank that is big enough to serve you and all of your needs, but still small enough to know you. You don't just open accounts at Central State Bank. You open relationships. They are family-owned. They are community-focused. They are built on trust. And for more than 100 years, they've served Shelby and Tallapoosa counties with local decisions and personal service that feels like home. So whether you're starting a business, buying a car, planning for tomorrow, they are there with you every step of the way at Central State Bank. Rooted in community, driven by relationships, it is Central State Bank. Member FDIC.
And our friends at the Pants Store, always there for you on your game day headquarters to help you out during football season. Guys, you can choose from the Alabama and Auburn polos and hats and quarter zips and so much more. Famous name brands like Horn Legend, Cutter and Buck, Antigua and Gentile. And nothing says War Eagle or Roll Tide like the Pants Store. And, of course, great for gifts, great for the holidays coming up. For the ladies out there, you can go get the white sneakers, the platforms, the fall boots, the rompers, the perfect dresses. That's all there. Pants Store has you covered, including the clear purses and satchels to get you in through security into the stadium as we have home games this week in our state. Huntsville to Auburn, everywhere in between. Pants Store, but anywhere in the world online. PantsStore.com, free alteration and gift wrapping. PantsStore.com for all your game day needs. By the way, Brett McMurphy reporting yesterday, Las Vegas hosting two out-of-conference football games, 2028, BYU and Oregon State. 2030, a fun one in Vegas, Arkansas and Texas Tech. That'll be fun out there. Also, Penn State leaves Nike. They joined the Adidas group.
Oh, interesting.
Continuing to grow that Adidas family. They leave Nike and they join Tennessee as a big flagship Adidas school, helping them out with some money.
Just real quick, if Arkansas and Texas Tech played this season, I don't know where you'd put the total. Well, I mean, just based on week one.
72.
That would be one heck of an offensive game, yeah.
We will get back to Chris Lowe's story that LT brought up in the first segment about Alabama boosters. He and Andy Staples into a conversation, and they reported it on 3 Sports. It's a really is. I was reading it in the commercial break. Some interesting lines in there. We'll get back to that coming up at the top of the hour. I did want to get to the news that every media outlet got this morning at 7:15 or so. Used to be a sports guy I knew that would always say, blank is the first to tell you, has learned that Alabama is putting a sponsorship logo on his field. And I'd be watching this guy's sportscast and I would be like, dude, we all got the same release.
That's right. It's a press release.
How did your station learn it? I mean, you just read the release. But that's a mock-up. If you turn your heads and look, that says Build Giants, Alabama. And this, Brownie, is a relationship with the U.S. Navy's Maritime Industrial Base. My grandmother, no lie, was a ship welder down in Mobile Bay for a while. And I don't think they had the Navy's Maritime Industrial Base at that point. But these are the kind of jobs you can have with the U.S. Navy.
This is the one that chewed snuff, right?
That's right. She was a hard lady, and but she literally welded ships for the military down in Mobile Bay. And there are many jobs you can have with the U.S. Navy, and this is part of the awareness and sponsorship that will be on the Alabama field, on Saban Field, at Bryant-Denny Stadium this Saturday.
And not just this Saturday, the entire season. Yeah, but it's starting this Saturday against Louisiana Monroe. It will be interesting, and I assume at some point we'll know the dollar value of this. I have not seen it. It is not in the release. I would imagine at some point through FOA request or whatever, we'll see this. I don't know. I would be interested to know what this brings to Alabama football. Dollar value wise.
What if it's $70 million over 7 years?
I don't think it's that much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just a key figure.
It is a government program.
Yeah,
so.
that is a key figure.
Yeah. No, we're not going to do it. We're never going to put a logo on the field.
Well, how about this? Yeah.
How much? $70 million. Look, I mean, this is the world we're living in now. Auburn has done it this year with Yellowwood. Alabama will now do it with the United States, basically the naval
it is so
shipbuilding
subtle.
industry. It is subtle, and I just wonder.
This is not. If you would have said 10 years ago, hey, look, guys, quarterbacks can be making $2 million in college football, or we're going to have a logo of a sponsor on the field, you'd have been like, the logo on the sponsor on the field doesn't seem like that big of a deal. $2 million quarterback seems like a big deal.
Let me ask you this, though. You guys are watching the Monday night game. The sponsor on the North Carolina field was who? Didn't see it.
I've got no idea.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so y'all didn't even notice? Nope.
Was there one on the field?
Absolutely.
I did not notice it.
I don't notice it anymore. You don't?
And I watched deep into the third quarter of a
Interesting.
blowout.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I was just curious how well it worked.
Who
It was
was it?
right there with State Farm. Yeah.
But
what was interesting about it,
I
remember that now. They used their logo. They didn't use the name State Farm. So you had to recognize the logo. And I found that weird.
Yeah, and it was white.
It was white.
I remember
It
seeing
blended
that
in.
and think to myself,
Yeah.
I don't think State Farm's getting their bang for their buck.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, they're not even putting State Farm out there. It's just the logo.
Yeah, not even red. If they'd made it red,
No,
I'd
it
been
was
like,
white.
oh, that's State Farm.
And I bring that up because this will blend in too. I don't know how many people will notice Bill Giants. You'll notice the Yellowwood if it indeed looks like they said it was going to look, where it's the actual Yellowwood logo, which I assume that's what it's going to be.
Because it'll be yellow.
Yeah. You'll think there's a flag.
Is there a flag on the plane?
Very large flag.
Oh, I didn't see the flag. Well, it landed in the Yellowwood logo. That's why nobody saw the flag. All right, viewing menu here quickly before we get to the top of the hour and jump back into the conversation about Bama boosters. As I tweeted moments ago on that story, I was like, for 17 years, I really forgot Alabama had boosters.
Yeah, they were pretty quiet for 17 years, weren't they?
Yeah, you scoffed at me when I brought it up in the first
No,
segment.
I did. I mean, you made it sound like you were talking to the heavy boosters. Chris Lowe is talking to the same people Lance are talking to. So we'll get back to it coming up. But Michelson Laser Vision brings you the viewing menu. Tell us about Michelson.
205-969-8100, the phone call that I made back in 2003. I had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. After the procedure, which only took 12 minutes for both eyes, 2015 vision, better than 2020. If you wear contacts, glasses, you're wasting money each and every year. I'm speaking from experience. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
Alrighty. So we've got a new series on Netflix tonight. We got part 2 of season 2 of Wednesday. I still need to catch up and watch it, but a lot of people love it, and it just keeps getting more content.
I don't know anything about it outside of the Wendy's meal with like a purple dipping sauce, which can't be great for you.
It's supposed to be a spicy purple, too.
Yeah, I saw that. Something about color of foods. I have to have a good. It's weird, but like certain food colors, I just cannot eat.
Really good sponsorship campaign because I've never watched one episode, but I recognize it instantly.
Yeah.
Yep. On Prime, they've added A Working Man starring Jason Statham to its catalog.
I tried it. I made it about 20 minutes into it.
Yeah, it's another Jason Statham movie. And if you've seen one, you've seen all of them.
I mean, outside of like Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, before he was the action star.
Yes. This is another generic Jason Statham action movie, but it's still pretty fun. There's some wacky gunfighting scenes because it's a David Ayer project, and he always likes to do the silliest stuff with some of his action scenes. Like in this one, Jason Statham has a Bluetooth scope for his gun, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but that's in the movie, and it's pretty funny. So if you're into that, you can watch that. I will be on the couch watching Comedy Central at 9 o'clock tonight because there's a new South Park, and it's a Butters-centered episode. I love Butters, and he's going to have to go buy a Labubu doll for his girlfriend. But he gets hit with tariffs because it's a Chinese product.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
And finally, HBO Max. I'm going to be going through the Conjuring franchise because we've got the new movie Conjuring Last Rites coming out this weekend. So I might try to get through all of them.
Yeah,
except for maybe Annabelle.
There's a problem with this.
Annabelle
If you've got priests like outside of the theater, like blessing people before they go into the Conjuring.
Is that really happening?
Yeah.
I would say this. If you get possessed, take the day off. Don't come in.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, we don't want
don't
your,
come in.
We don't want your head spinning around during the show.
Bad aura.
Yeah.
That's probably a good idea.
Or are you possessing us? That's what that's what Tyler's watching. Thanks to our friends at Michelson. The show also being brought to you by our wonderful folks at Gray's Tree Service. Deadwood, me shortchanging LT on his phone call this morning is one deadwood thing that we can clean up right here. I don't know anything else that we may have messed up in the first hour, but Gray's will make sure they're cleaning up the deadwood for you forever.
Yeah, I actually had somebody reach out just a minute ago, and they were like, Gray's, do you have that phone number handy? And I was like, absolutely. So they've got to get some deadwood cleaned up. If you're in that same situation that I was in a little over a year ago, Gray's, family owned and operated right here in Birmingham. Experts in the high-risk tree removals, pruning, soil health treatment to strengthen those trees and plants. Again, I used these guys over a year ago. John Mark, his crew came out. Fantastic work from our friends at Gray's. You can call the number I gave our friend earlier today, 205-255-1239. That's 205-255-1239. Tell them the Next Round sent you. You can scan that QR code or just visit graystree.com.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at ScottForresterTV.
Yo, kinfolk, what's good, man? Let me holler at you for a minute. You know how life can be life. You're out there chasing that dollar. Every dollar is accounted for going somewhere. Then all of a sudden, bam! Out of nowhere, a car accident. All I had to do was hit up my people at Alexander Shinara Trial Attorney. You already know when that dude Alex pulls up the trial, he shuts down the litigation situation. Yo, go to Shinara.com. Hit him up at 659-777-7777.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation that legal services provided are better than any other provider.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats all in one place, nextround.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know, you might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all of your favorite Next Round gear by visiting nextround.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at nextround.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from nextround.store.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Excitement awaits at Barber Motorsports Park for the UAB Medicine GT World Alabama Benefiting Teal Wings of Hope, September 5th through 7th. Witness some of the most iconic sports cars like Lamborghini, McCarron, and Ferrari battle it out on the track. Enjoy the beer gardens, food trucks, kids zone, garage, and more. The UAB Medicine GT World Alabama. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets today.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and Bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a Bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and Bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, hour number 2 of the show now. We've got 4 downs, and we've got the spotlight still to come today. Sneaky good games, but still a lot of conversation going on about where Alabama is, the state of the program, and all of that. We'll get to some Auburn in a moment because things are high for them, though they missed the AP poll. Did that surprise anybody that they did not slide in yesterday? Where were they on also receiving votes? How close?
You'll have to give me 2 seconds.
I think they were still in the 30s, weren't they?
The Baylor win did not resonate.
AP Top 25 full rankings. Give me 2 seconds, please.
I played
Jim
golf
Dunaway.
on Monday and Tuesday with my Auburn friends, high as a kite.
Oh, I bet they are. They should be. That was a fun game.
A lot of them went to Waco.
Yeah. Did they like the trip?
Loved it. They
Waco,
loved it.
Are they appreciating your support for the Auburn Tigers this year?
They love it, man. 45,000 is what they told me. That seems really small. It looks bigger on TV.
I thought it was bigger than that.
Yeah.
It looks good. They always seem to have a good atmosphere there.
I agree.
Yeah, they said every chair is a chair, but it's a stadium seat.
Yeah.
Like you got a
chairback
NFL
seating.
like chairback seating, so it takes up a lot of space. He says a lot of gaps between the aisles where you're not cramped in. It's very comfortable.
As Scott is showing you, if you're watching us on video, Auburn checks in at number 27 if you continue counting.
Yeah.
Now,
just outside.
Lance seems to think that Auburn gets in this week just based on carnage in front of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you can go to the 11 o'clock games, and I think you're going to see some carnage.
That's going to be enough to clean out?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I could see Iowa, Baylor, and Duke all winning.
Wow.
And,
That
I don't know
helps.
what that does to Illinois, SMU, and Iowa State.
Yeah.
Let's jump into some of that as the show is being brought to you by a couple of our great sponsors, like our friends at CPAP Plus, as we see who LT is about to put to sleep for tonight in a loss this weekend.
Well, do you have a sleeper pick out there for us?
I got you one.
I do.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You guys work on that.
No, the upset I didn't pick yesterday because I didn't want to draw it because I didn't think I could draw it and do it justice. I think Kansas beats Missouri outright. And I think South Florida and Florida is a lot closer than people expect.
Yeah,
I could have drawn that one.
Yeah.
But I think, listen, there's a stat that I guarantee you none of us paid attention to.
Okay.
Long Island, a team that truthfully looked like they would ride in on a yellow school bus.
Yeah, I mean, I said it like IMG would spank Long Island.
Yeah. They had, because I didn't watch 1 second of that game, but I went back, and I think it was Connor O'Gara who had this stat. Long Island in the first half against the ones of Florida had 10 tackles for losses in that game against the Florida Gators. Now, I don't know how much you watched that game. I watched 0 of that game.
Me too, but 10 tackles for losses, I don't have to watch it.
And
all you got to do is tell me that stat.
And I'm not going to say the word that our boy Siski says on his with McCready.
Right.
But they've got some MFers at USF on that defensive line. If they had a problem with Long Island, that USF team could make that one interesting this weekend.
Lance, his sleeper pick, they are favored 17.5. The Florida Gators are. That's Dunaway's sleeper. I mean, I'm not discounting it, Jim.
Well, I'll tell you, Alex Golish in South Florida, if they were to roll into Gainesville and win that game after beating Boise, they would be the talk of college football. Speaking of sleep, everybody needs great sleep. Alabama's best home sleep testing and CPAP comes from our friends at CPAP Plus. 5 locations, Birmingham, Trussville, Pelham, Foley, Troy. Nobody wants to deal with the lab. You don't want to spend the night elsewhere. You don't want to deal with the insurance. No lab, no insurance. Just easy-to-wear fingertip devices, clinically validated that connect to your smartphone, complete with a physician's interpretation of your results. $199 home sleep test. Go to sleephomealabama.com. That is sleephomealabama.com.
And I'll make one other point. USF dominated a veteran, a lot of snaps under their belt, Boise State offensive line. They made them look silly. So we'll see how that looks out this week.
And extra prep. I mean, that was a Thursday night game. For whatever it's worth, you've got time to get your body back together and a little extra prep.
Again, didn't watch it, but 2 Long Island first downs, 87 total yards. Florida had 0 penalties and 0 turnovers.
Yeah, but that is alarming. 10 tackles for losses.
Yeah, that's Connor O'Gara.
That's alarming.
10 TFLs. That's what TFL stands for.
Yeah,
right? Tackle for
correct,
loss.
yes.
I don't know how that's possible, but
I didn't watch the game, so I can't
Connor
argue.
tortured himself watching the Long Island Sharks.
I'll go back and double check that stat, and I will we'll throw out some more dead wood for you in a bit if that's incorrect.
Alex Golesh is pretty well thought of already, but you get Boise and Florida under your belt, he will be the hottest coaching name in football. Any job.
Well, and
that
it's
is supposedly, in fact,
it's a fun offense to watch. I mean, if you like Heupel's offense, that's what Golesh is running.
Before we get to our sneaky good game, and then back to what Chris Lowe and Andy Staples are reporting today about a well respected Alabama booster anonymously talking to them at On3 Sports. You said the 11 o'clock window could open up some upsets. Speak to me.
I think so. Let's start with,
because this is a crappy slate of games, relatively speaking, on a college football Saturday.
Don't sleep on 11 o'clock.
And usually when we say, man, this is a crappy weekend of games,
I went through it last night.
Right. Yep.
I think there are 4 or 5 teams in the top 25 that lose.
Okay.
Now, one is guaranteed with Oklahoma and Michigan.
Right, but this is the kind of weekend you get some upsets when it's a crappy slate of games.
Well, let's start with San Jose State and Texas. No, I'm kidding. Let's Illinois Duke, though. I do think
you've been calling this all offseason.
Yeah, I really have. And look, Illinois is one of the teams I drafted the other night, so I still will have Duke. This number's dropped down to 2.5. Duke will win this game outright. I do think Illinois is a really good team, but I think Duke's really good.
Okay.
Coming off 10 wins last year, Darian Mensah, they've got an upgraded quarterback. I think Duke wins this game.
So are we approaching this from how it impacts Auburn? Do you want me to take that part of it? Or are we just talking about what the upsets might be?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Auburn's 2 out. They'll bounce in if there's enough losses.
So here's my only point is Duke's only getting 4 votes right now. So that'd be a long way for Duke to go from that all the way into the poll. But if you beat a top 15 team, that might just happen.
Well, I don't think Duke gets in, but is Illinois going to fall out? Because Illinois is number 11.
Yeah, that's a long way to fall.
To lose on the road to a Power 4.
Yeah. I don't know if they fall all the way out.
I mean, the Duke.
That's a bad brand they've lost to.
If you lose on the road, if you're a Big Ten or SEC team and you lose on the road to any ACC team, you should fall out. Oh, wait, no. You should only drop to 21.
Okay. We'll stick with those ACC teams and a team that made the college football playoff last year in SMU. I think Baylor rolls into Texas, and I think they beat SMU this week.
Okay, so one good ACC, one bad ACC.
Yeah, so that would probably drop SMU out. They're 17th.
Yeah.
Being 1-1 probably drops them out.
Plus, it gives Auburn a quality win at that point.
That is correct.
And Iowa State. Iowa State is 2-0. The Cyhawk is the predictability of the Cyhawk is it's going to be 16 to 14 somebody.
There was that one year it was like 45 to 42, but that's the only time it's ever happened.
Yeah, I think Iowa and Iowa State, it's kind of a coin flip game, but like I'm leaning Iowa in this game plus 2.5.
Yeah. By the way, Iowa not receiving a single vote in the Associated Press poll.
If they win this game, they will.
They win this game, they will, but not enough to jump in. So that too would help Auburn get ranked.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys will give me those 3 are very likely.
Very doable.
And then throughout the day, LT yesterday, an upset alert, took Kentucky to at least cover against Ole Miss.
Well, the last 3 meetings, the 3 that Lane Kiffin has coached in this series have been decided the total 3 games by 7 points. Yep. So all of these have come down to the wire, including the loss last year.
To your point, Stoops defensively has figured out something that causes Lane's offense problems. I mean, Jackson Dart looks pretty good in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
Was throwing off his back foot and making tons of mistakes last year and a loss to Kentucky.
Yeah,
right?
a home loss to Kentucky's only conference win.
And Kentucky held them to 17 points. That was their low of the season last year. So back to your point, I don't know if he's got a blueprint on Lane Kiffin's offense, but, Simmons turned the football over a couple of times. He had a ton of yards. We did have Ole Miss minus the points.
630 some odd yards, I think, but still 2 interceptions by Austin Simmons.
Yeah, it was 695 total yards.
Sorry, 695?
Yeah.
And in that middle window, you also got Kansas, Missouri, and South Florida. and Florida, 2 games I just talked about. And let's get to some sneaky good games.
But the other one was going to be Arizona State in Starkville.
That's right.
Like, are you guys going to be surprised at all if Arizona State goes West Coast to East Coast and loses that game?
Brown Bandit picked it yesterday.
Yeah, that was Brown's upset alert yesterday.
You know what that means.
If you're scoring at home, I took Rice for no apparent reason. Let's do our Spotlight Sneaky Good Games today, brought to you by Alexander Shannara. Hit it, Tyler.
The College Football Spotlight.
This weekend's Sneaky Good Game.
Our guy Alexander Shannara, trial attorneys. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case. Shannara.com. Shannara.com. One thing Alexander Shannara wanted to do was create a firm that could handle any issue his community faces. Well, he has now done that. You know, obviously they handle personal injury claims. What you might not know is, in addition to that now, they handle fire and storm damage claims, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, Alexander Shannara Trial Attorney is the place to go. Shannara.com. Shannara.com.
My sneaky good game, UCLA at UNLV. It's a primetime 7 o'clock CBS Sports Network game. I wish it was a 9:15, 9:30 game because it likely will only make one of my quad boxes on my TVs. But there's a lot of questions about Nico and the people around him for UCLA. UNLV didn't look fantastic in their opener, but I feel like that's a pretty good roster there at UNLV. We'll see if they can get quarterback play in this one will not ever hang in the Louvre. I'll tell you this. But for some reason, I find that as a sneaky, entertaining game. I wish it was 9:30 instead of 7 o'clock, CBS Sports Network. Brandy, what do you have?
Well, I'm going to ask a question you guys probably already know the answer to. Who had the 5th most yards in week 1 of college football? I mean, it's obviously Texas State, right? I mean, that's who you were going to say right away, weren't you?
That's who Robert Henry ran all over that A&M defense.
No, that's Texas San Antonio.
Texas San Antonio, yeah.
Texas. More on them in a moment.
Playing Texas State.
Hold that thought real quick. I'll set you up for that one in a second, Lance. Texas State had, against Eastern Michigan, guys, 392 rush yards. 392 en route to 606 yards and down the field on Eastern Michigan.
I mean, Auburn had 308.
I know. It's 392 up and down the field on Eastern Michigan.
It's a little gap, almost a whole football field.
Yeah. Lance, did you happen to watch UTSA take on Texas A&M?
I had it on one of the TVs.
Yeah, what'd their running back do? How many yards?
177 yards, Brown.
Against an SEC defense? That's why I say your sneaky good game, and it's so sneaky it's on ESPN+. You got to plus this one. Yep. 2:30, though. Texas State at Texas San Antonio. The battle for I-35, Jim. They're playing for I-35. Winner gets the interstate. San Marcos going to San Antonio to be in the Alamo Dome. If you like offense, this is a sneaky good game.
When they do these I games, I-4, I-35, the loser should have to pick up trash along the interstate.
Like they put the sign up.
The next 365 days.
The next 88 miles have been adopted by the loser of Texas State, Texas San Antonio.
See those guys out there picking up trash. Alabama should be picking up trash on the road from Troy to Tallahassee.
I don't have a lot of confidence in Major Applewhite's Jaguars this year, but
I'm paying a lot of
money.
They're
only catching 10 against Tulane this week. Jake Retzloff, after a big win.
Well, that's a smaller line than I would have thought.
Yeah, it's only 10?
Yeah.
After a big week, goes out and enjoys Bourbon Street. Hey, no contract signed with Tulane University. No
honor code.
No honor code at all. So, yeah, I'm checking that updated number, but it was 10.5.
No, I mean, that just feels
light.
Yeah. I mean, because South Alabama, I can't remember who they beat, but it was some no-name team in
Nichols.
Morgan State.
No, that was Troy.
Yeah, Morgan State. It wasn't real impressive. Like, the score was like 38-16 or something like that.
Yeah, 10.5 current number.
That's surprising. Surprisingly low.
That is low.
I mean, would you tease Tulane down to -0.5 and feel pretty good?
I'd
a three-team teaser?
I'd feel pretty dang good, yeah.
Would you feel good?
I would, yeah.
Ole Miss. Remember we used to do the super teaser?
Let's do it.
Okay, so Ole Miss at a pick at Kentucky.
Okay,
I would love that.
So I could tease that down to Ole Miss. All they got to do is win the game. When do they lose to Kentucky, Jim? Ole Miss.
Not on the road.
Tulane -0.5.
Oh, my God.
At home, right? Tulane at home. South is going to New Orleans.
I am betting this.
And then how about if I was to give you Memphis at Georgia State, an awful Georgia State team that gave up, how many yards did we say? They gave up 63 points and 695 yards to Ole Miss. You'd have Memphis -3.5 against Georgia State.
Oh, I'd love that.
So all I need is Ole Miss to win at Kentucky.
Yep.
Tulane to win at home against South.
Yep.
and Memphis to win by more than 4.
Yeah,
4 or more at Georgia State.
Yeah, a team that just lost by 57 to Ole Miss.
And Memphis is my G5 playoff team. God,
are you playing that?
I'm going to write it down.
MyBookie.ag.
It feels pretty easy.
Teasers are so tough.
Well,
NFL, they're not.
How easy does that feel, though?
Tease all that in. Yeah, it seems easy.
I mean, Ole Miss only has to be Kentucky, who they lost to at home last year.
Tease it. He wants me to go and bet this teaser so that his upset alert hits with Kentucky. That's what he's.
No, you got to hit all 3 sides, though. I mean, you could still have Kentucky lose the game, but if South Alabama wins,
but
or Memphis lost,
if I go and put money on this, it'll be Kentucky that beats Ole Miss. That'll be
the one
the one that you're most confident over. All right, back to the On3 story right after Brownie tells us about our friends at Breakline.
BreaklineOptics.com, BreaklineOptics.com. You want to look great in the college and high school football stadium of your choice with that sun out for those games. You can look great in a pair of shades from BreaklineOptics.com. Tailgating on the Quad, tailgating down at Auburn, Toomer's Corner, tailgating on the Grove, wear Breakline Optics. These sunglasses, first of all, they're built to last. The lenses are polarized, molded Trivex lenses. We have tried to break these in the parking lot with a mallet on asphalt. We cannot break them. You cannot break them. These are built to last. These are made to be worn where you want to wear them, right? The beach, the pool, the rivers, the lakes, out on the golf course. Well, they're made to withstand those elements so that they don't look all ratty and cracked. They fit great. They look great. And right now you can save with code TNR30. That saves you 30% on your order at BreaklineOptics.com. BreaklineOptics.com, code TNR30. Why I had to think about that, I don't know. Code TNR30 saves you 30% at BreaklineOptics.com.
And hey, Bama fans, enjoy the refreshing taste of Coke Zero Sugar because fan work is thirsty work. In fact, you Bama fans deserve 2 of them this week. Coke Zero Sugar, fan work is thirsty work, and that gets us to the Andy Staples, Chris Lowe story. LT said in the first segment, repeat what you said.
There are a lot of big Alabama boosters that are very, very upset with what is going on, how the team played on Saturday. And my point was I haven't heard this, that they probably have the calculator out trying to figure out a way to get $70 million. But there are a lot of boosters that feel like, and much like Brandon Marcello said, that Alabama loses 3, 4, 5 games. And I think there's some boosters that would want to make a change at that point.
To Chris Lowe and Andy Staples, one longtime Alabama donor, and not just any donor, but the kind who has their portrait hanging in the Donor Hall of Recognition at Bryant-Denny Stadium, tells On3 Sports, quote, "We're spoiled, always have been. But when we put a team out there that looks uninspired like we have far too many times these past 2 years and lose to teams that we're clearly more talented than, that's when it becomes a problem and not just a bunch of spoiled fans griping." So he's saying we're not just a bunch of spoiled fans griping. We're the money behind this program. And as he says in here, when we put a team out there that looks uninspired like we have far too many times these past 2 years and lose to teams that we're clearly more talented than, that's when it becomes a problem. That from, as Chris Lowe and Andy Staples say, a guy or woman that has a portrait hanging in the Donor Hall of Recognition at Bryant-Denny Stadium. Now, I will tell you, I've covered Alabama for a long time. Mm-hmm. I don't even know where the Donor Hall of Recognition is.
Is that not a figure of speech? I didn't realize. I thought they were just using that as a figure of speech.
I don't know.
Maybe it is.
He says Donor Hall of Recognition at Bryant-Denny Stadium.
I mean, do you guys think there is any chance he could lose his job, though?
I do not. I mean, I guess with a 2-10 maybe, but that is not going to happen, obviously. I don't even think an 8-4 does it. No, I don't. I don't think there's any way.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think
do you guys feel me? And that was just a thought that came in my head when we were talking to Brandon about, the culture. I mean, it hasn't worked out for Brian Kelly at LSU, right?
No,
I mean,
you made a good point there.
You've got to be somewhat patient. I mean, when he started year 2, They got blown out by Florida State.
They did, and but even year one, they won the West, and they beat Alabama. So you had something to hang your hat on, but then year 2 and year 3 was disappointing.
But year one, to me, it seems similar to Kalen DeBoer. I know he didn't get to the SEC championship game, but those seasons kind of played out the same way.
Ironically, DeBoer's best win in year one was Georgia, which I guess was kind of like beating Alabama, right? So,
I mean, then he beat Brian Kelly down at LSU.
Well, he did, but the better win was the Georgia win. My point was Kelly was hanging his hat on that win over Alabama, and DeBoer would hang his hat on the win over Georgia. Difference is, one happened late in the year, one happened early in the year. And the early in the year got forgotten because of what happened later in the year. So for Kelly, he kind of finished on a high note. I would say
my point only being that those were two pretty big wins that you just never got from. I mean, Mike Shula had a 10-win season, but it never felt like you had that Georgia win like you had last year. You know what I'm saying? During the Shula years.
Yes, I agree. There was not a win anywhere close to that.
Yeah, and sort of the LSU road win sort of didn't feel like you ever had that during the Shula years.
I think the best win of the Shula years was that Florida game
where
Chris Leak and Urban Meyer, Alabama blew them out. The game Prothro got hurt.
Brian Kelly,
go ahead.
10-4.
Yeah.
Kalen DeBoer 9-4. Year 2, Brian Kelly 10-3. That's what this year is looking like to me. I know a lot of people are like they're going to lose more than 3 games. And then last year 9-4. I don't know if Kalen DeBoer would get 3 years like that.
That third year would probably have him done. I would agree with you. That's why I don't think it'll happen after this year. But 3 straight years of missing the playoffs would probably do it for him. I don't know what the number is at the end of year 3. I think it's somewhere 45 to 50 million for him, and then you've got your assistants.
But if they end up 9-3 this year, they may not miss the playoffs.
I know.
I mean, that's 6-2 in the SEC.
Well, I think everybody forgets everything if they get into the playoffs.
Oh,
right?
this loss can be easily forgotten. Now, the thing that'll make you forget it, though, is the behavior that these booster is talking about changing. And I would say so. Kalen DeBoer's now lost 5 games out of 14. Am I right about that? He's 9-5 in 14 games. Is that the number?
He's 5-5 in his last 10.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
I'm well aware of that number. Yeah. But in 14 games, he's 9-5.
Yeah. He's 4-5 in his last.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm asking
FBS
for
games.
I'm asking for a full 14.
Yeah,
okay.
He's
so he's 9-5. Yeah.
More alarming. He's on a 2-game losing streak.
Yes. Of those, all right, so you would say Saturday showed a lack of, what was the quote there? Lack of effort, and give me the quote.
We're spoiled, always have been, but when we put a team out there that looks uninspired like we have far too many times these past 2 years and lose to teams that were clearly more talented than, that's when it becomes a problem. That's not Legend calling Feinbaum. That's a booster talking to Chris Lowe that has a portrait hanging in the donor hall of recognition at Bryant-Denny Stadium.
Of those two, one means nothing and the booster means everything. A caller to Feinbaum doesn't matter. A booster is the guy that makes these decisions. So he's lost 5 games. How many of those do you think meet that criteria of the 5?
I don't know, but I mean
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma's the most obvious one, right? Yeah. I mean, that's the one that jumps out the most.
I mean, the bowl game, but what do you do with a bowl game?
Yeah, but it's a bowl game. So, if you're putting any stock in that, I think.
But Florida State was the worst.
Florida State, Oklahoma,
Vandy.
I don't think I'd put Tennessee in that category. Y'all were there. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong.
No, I mean, they were inspired.
It's a tough game. I mean, they lost on the road to a team that made the college football playoff.
Yeah, and that was. I don't know if it's the best game plan. I don't think Alabama had a particularly great game plan in that game, but I don't feel like Alabama was just uninspired and lethargic in that game. They were undisciplined. Now, they were undisciplined.
But so was Nick Saban's team when they lost
There's
up there
no doubt.
in 2022.
Yeah, they've been undisciplined before, too.
Yeah,
so.
and the bowl game. So 3 I put uninspired, and then the Michigan bowl game in the rain. I mean, he was playing in the rain.
To
me, I mean, Oklahoma was disturbing because you have a chance to get to a college football playoff. But you have all of off-season for people talking about whether it was this isn't going to work with Kalen DeBoer or this team was overrated. But you come out and you're that flat with no energy on the road in a hostile environment.
It's alarm bells everywhere. I agree 100%.
But I'm not going to be surprised at the end of the season if LSU's got 3 losses and LSU fans are like, we need to get rid of Brian Kelly because they've still got 6 ranked teams they're going to be playing, maybe 7.
But here's the thing. In this world of college football, college sports working the way it does, boosters spending $70 million buying people out is foolhardy, it seems, based on what it takes to run a college football program now, money-wise, right?
Yep.
But who normally would put the brakes on something like that? the athletic director, right? The athletic director would normally step in and say, listen, I get that you're upset with the coach, but let me lay out for you. Let me show you what we need day to day in our NIL to stay competitive with LSU, with Ohio State, with Texas. This is what we need. And I get that you guys are upset, but $70 million could go a long way over in this column and not in this buyout
well,
column.
the problem there is the guy telling them that might be in the crosshairs. What do they say about Greg Byrne in that article?
Because that's the thing,
Does
Jim.
he come up at all in the article?
He does not.
Okay.
Well, I mean, in passing.
That's the thing is normally your athletic director is the guy that can cool the hill and say, all right, I get y'all are pissed, right? We can do something about this. But this $70 million could go a long way in this other column. But to your point, if the booster is pissed off enough, they say, okay, well, you're out too, big guy.
Yeah, but I would remind all the boosters, this is the guy that hired Nate Oates.
That's right.
I mean,
I don't think that's going to solve. I agree with you.
Means a lot to me.
And I don't think Greg Byrne.
I mean, that might be the third greatest hire in Alabama athletics. In the history of Alabama athletics.
Behind Bear Bryant and Nick Saban, Nate Oates is the third best hire in Alabama athletics.
Could be. Is that on the table?
It's on the table.
In the story when it comes to Greg Byrne, this is from On 3. I'm reading from On 3 Sports. The hymn written by Andy Staples and Chris Lowe. The Monday morning quarterbacks have set their sights on Alabama athletic director Greg Byrne as much, if not more, than they have DeBoer. But that's what happens when you're the guy who makes the call on the coach replacing a legend, and the transition is anything but smooth. Byrne had DeBoer and, ironically enough, FSU coach Mike Norvell at the top of his list from the outset, and some will tell you the order was really Norvell and then DeBoer. Either way, they were the two Byrne wanted. Now, that's from Chris Lowe and Andy Staples. I will only use this as a backdrop that Chris Lowe is as close to Jimmy Sexton as any media person I know.
Yes. There's a reason Chris Lowe was 2 seconds ahead of Jim Dunaway in reporting Nick Saban retiring.
Also in this story, to show you how close he is to Jimmy Sexton, Chris Lowe writes in there about coaching. The lingering question, is Kalen DeBoer a good fit or even a good fit in the SEC? Coach's agent, and he even points, not DeBoer's, who is Sexton.
That's right.
So a coach's agent, anonymous agent, not DeBoer's agent, who is Jimmy Sexton, telling Chris Lowe and Andy Staples, quote, you need to be able to coach Southern guys. They want to be coached hard. Look at the way Kirby Smart coaches. So now they're questioning. At first they were questioning whether DeBoer could recruit in the South.
Yeah.
Now they're questioning whether or not he can coach Southern guys who want to be coached hard.
That's interesting. So an agent is saying kids that grew up in the South want to be coached harder than kids that, I've never heard that.
Yeah.
Nope.
I don't know if those kids want that.
You need to be able to coach Southern guys. A coach's agent, not DeBoer's, said they want to be coached hard. Look at the way Kirby Smart coaches.
Again, I'm dumb. I can't understand how it works in one region and it doesn't work in the other.
But here's another.
Because, by the way, DeBoer's been recruiting nationally, has he not?
Yeah, he has been. When you start talking money, though, Jim, another thing to consider is Alabama paid the biggest buyout on record in college football to get DeBoer. Not buyout to fire a guy. That's Jimbo Fisher, and that one's probably going to go down for a long time. But to hire a guy, to pry a guy away from a job, I think Alabama's buyout was the biggest on record. I think nobody's ever paid more to get a guy out of a job than Alabama paid to get him out of Washington.
That's right. So Alabama, not DeBoer, paid Washington is what you're saying. Okay.
Well, I'm saying that money probably came from boosters, too. I mean, that's Greg Byrne having to go to boosters saying, hey, look, this is my guy, but it's going to take $10.5 million, I think it was, $12.5 million, something like that, to get him. But this is my guy. This is the best guy to replace Nick Saban. So when you go to boosters and do that, what is their reaction when it doesn't work?
Oh, well, look, the effort is unacceptable, but, I mean, the transition following Nick Saban, we all knew was going to be really difficult. The other guy that you mentioned, Mike Norvell, went 2-10. I know the lasting impression is, well, Mike Norvell just whipped Kalen DeBoer's ass.
Get back with me at the end of the year and let's see if that stands. Yeah.
But, I mean, like, who else was in the mix to get this job? Like, how different would it be with somebody else right now?
Well, I mean, the
Because the guy I talked to this morning, you know what he said? Why didn't they go to the Nick Saban tree? And I'm like,
well, who's in that tree?
Yeah, and I'm like, this is
okay. Well, they did.
Such a crutch.
The first person they called was Kirby Smart, who I don't even think took the call.
No.
They asked Dan Lanning, from what I'm told. They asked Dan Lanning, not interested.
Okay, well, that's 2 in the tree. Now, give me the rest of the tree. Who else is in that tree you going to shake? Who else?
I wanted Glenn Schumann, untested young Glenn Schumann.
He's technically in the tree, but
that's who you wanted to have the job?
That's who I remember. That's who I was pushing for the job.
I don't remember. I mean, I'm not
for those that don't know, that is the Georgia defensive coordinator, who's very well thought of. I mean, he'll get a head coaching opportunity at some point.
But what a roll of the dice that would have been.
Lane Kiffin is. I wouldn't put him in the Nick Saban tree, but he's coached there. I don't think there was an appetite for that.
There was no way Lane Kiffin was getting that job.
I mean, I don't know who you're going to hire out of the quote unquote Nick Saban tree.
I mean,
Billy Napier's in that tree.
I never know things I should say or shouldn't say.
I just say it. I'll tell you if you shouldn't have said it.
I was told by somebody that Nick Saban really, really likes Tommy Rees.
Holy cow.
And would have been okay. Like, really wanted Tommy Rees to at least be interviewed.
I did hear that he wanted Tommy Rees interviewed.
But and
I thought that was more of a bone for Tommy Rees because you're going to be a superstar one day, but this will be big to have on your resume that Alabama was interested.
I can't imagine the reaction if they'd hired Tommy Rees. Even if Nick Saban had come out and said, this is my handpicked guy. Alabama has allowed me to handpick my successor, and I'm picking Tommy Rees. I cannot imagine what the blowback would be.
I don't know who you could hire at this point. If this thing really does go sideways, and it is 7-5, who you could hire after that where Alabama fans are all united and get excited. I don't think there's that guy.
There is that guy, but you couldn't hire him. I mean, a Kirby Smart would do that, but he's not going to leave Georgia for that. I'm just like you're saying a realistic guy you could hire. I don't know who that would be.
Now Dan Lanning might, and again, Kalen DeBoer schooled Dan Lanning when they went head-to-head. I want to remind everybody that. But Dan Lanning, now that he wouldn't be the guy to replace Nick Saban, the job is more appealing to a lot of other people now.
Yeah,
if it doesn't work out.
To be the guy after the guy, to be Bill Curry.
It may be. Why it may not be. Coming up on the other side, the show being brought to you by our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa LT. Tell us about Woodhouse.
Hey, look, great place to go to relax. The best day spa out there is the Woodhouse Day Spa. Stop in, see Stuart and that fabulous staff. Beautiful location right there at the Summit Shopping Centers. You can stop in, pick up a gift card right there. Or if you want to order 24/7 online, you can do it. Birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Let the wife or girlfriend choose from a menu of over 70 options, including the nail services, waxing, skincare, body treatment, massages. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. Again, stop by or order online, birmingham.woodhousespas.com.
And our friends at Way to Wellness. That's Leslie and her board-certified team down there. Listen, if you want to jumpstart your weight loss, maybe you're like, okay, summer of 2026, I want to be beach skinny and muscular and ready to go. Start with Way to Wellness. aplanforme.com is the website, aplanforme.com. That's your website. Also, maybe you need a special diet because you battle diabetes, or maybe you got sleep apnea. There's a diet that maybe helps you with sleep apnea. And some other things like IBF and other things. They can do a variety of different food plans for you. Injection therapies. They've got meal replacements. I use these protein bars so I don't bad snack between meals. You can see it all at aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. And there's no contract, no sign-up fees. And the first consultation is free. It's Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
Yo, kinfolk, what's good, man? Let me holler at you for a minute. You know how life can be life. You're out there chasing that dollar. Every dollar is accounted for going somewhere. Then all of a sudden, bam! Out of nowhere, a car accident. All I had to do was hit up my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorney. You already know when that dude Alex pulls up the trial, he shuts down the litigation situation. Yo, go to Shannara.com. Hit him up at 659-777-7777.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation that legal services provided are better than any other provider.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Never miss anything from The Next Round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you catch every part of The Next Round. Listen anywhere in the world at any time on the Next Round podcast feed and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Thanks for always making The Next Round a big part of your day.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Catch up on all of today's Next Round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of The Next Round.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Back with you on the Next Round. Dr. B bringing you part of the show. What A.J. McCarron said on the show yesterday. Not on our show. But
AJ likes to shake the cage, doesn't he? I like it.
This is interesting if AJ is right about this. Tell us about Dr. B. Interesting to make your hair look good again. There were doubters out there, but you were going bald, and then boom, look at that.
Hey, look, man, if you are starting to thin out, first of all, if you're like me and it's happening in the back and you're a little taller than everybody else, if you have a friend like that, let them know. Be preemptive. Hey, man, you're starting to thin out a little bit. There is help out there. Dr. Beckenstein is the best in the business. T3hair.net for more information. 205-319-0316. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. T3's got that test. Easy, painless, affordable. Takes seconds to perform. It's going to show which medicines and compounds will specifically work for your hair loss. Men, women ordering Hims, other products online, don't even know if they work. Stop wasting your money and critical time on products that aren't working for you. Doesn't matter if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, you start losing that hair. Be preemptive, maintain, and grow some back. My hair has more than doubled in thickness. 205-319-0316 or T3hair.net.
Okay, first, McCarron said something that I've said 17 times on Saturday and Sunday to people when they were texting me. You just don't have the money to buy him out. And I think I said that on the show Monday.
Yes, I think we all agreed, yes.
Yeah, on the McCready and Siskey podcast where AJ made an appearance. If you want to get serious about it, all right, and talk about the fans from a fan perspective, and everybody talks about, well, DeBoer needs to be fired. Listen, he's got a $70 million buyout, $63 million into the year, I believe. It's not going to happen. Can't afford it. But here's what's alarming,
And I believe these numbers to be maybe a little off, but the gap is realistic. And this is A.J. McCarron. Quote, another thing that hurts Alabama right now is you look at these other teams that have $40 to $50 million in NIL. Alabama, and I know this for a fact, talking to multiple people inside the program, Alabama's got less than $20 million in the NIL, okay? Those are Saban, all right? At the end? Okay, so $40 to $50 million NIL, less than 20. Now, those numbers, as I try to tell people, are fluid depending on situations, but the reality of it, to my knowledge, is that there is a gap between what Alabama is spending overall in NIL compared to other programs who you would think Alabama would be a part of. Now, you can spend less and spend it smartly and be just as competitive as teams who spend more money. I'm not saying that Alabama doesn't have a roster of great players, because they do, and they are. I believe that Alabama approaches recruiting or in the portal on spending big on big players, and then filling in the rest of the roster like you do in the NFL with bargain buys. At that point, you get the elite players, and then you've got a budget, and you just can't go out there and spend $50 million. I think that's the way Alabama has to attack the NIL. I don't think a lot of fans understand that Alabama is not.
It's hard to believe just because Nick Saban dominated recruiting for so long. But when the landscape changed, you heard Ohio State. We spent $30 million on this roster, or at least people inside of the program. That information got out. And look, it equated to a national championship. My question would be, and there's a lot of layers to this, but like the A's with Billy Beane, and Moneyball and what they were able to do. Look, they were good teams, but they could never win championships. So very competitive. That would be the equivalent of getting to a 12-team playoff and then really not making any noise.
I think Courtney Morgan's really good at what he does.
Okay, but if you're not prepared to spend elite money on NIL, how in the hell are you prepared to get $70 million up to fire a coach?
But here's how exactly. Here's how I don't. Either AJ is wrong about this, and I'm not saying he is. He's probably got. I mean, I know he's talking to people. He's got connections with people better than I do. I'll say that.
I don't think he's wrong. I will say that up front.
That's fine.
Okay.
Then explain to me how this is an issue. Why is this an issue?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm looking right now on Three's recruiting rankings, and Alabama's got similar number of commitments as everybody else that I'm about to name for you. USC is number 1, Georgia is number 2, Oregon is number 3, Notre Dame is number 4, Texas is number 5, Texas A&M is number 6, Alabama is number 7, Tennessee 8, Ohio State 9, Michigan 10.
Okay.
How is Alabama in that group if they can't spend with that group?
I think they are spending when it comes to high school recruiting in that group.
Okay. Well, then who?
I mean, how did you not lose anybody after spring ball?
They didn't lose anybody after spring. And by the way, I will remind everybody that they paid Jalen Mbakwe to stick around, and that kid barely plays. I mean, so it's not like they – I mean, the moment he started talking about leaving and entered the portal, and everybody panicked because he did a podcast with Ryan Williams – Alabama went back to him, convinced him, we'll let you play receiver and we'll pay you more money to stay. That kid barely sees the field. He returns kicks. I mean, Alabama, I don't know what they had to pay Jalen Mbakwe to stay, but they paid him to stay and return punts.
I feel really good that Ryan Williams is the highest paid guy on that roster.
I agree completely.
And when your highest paid player has got to produce.
But my point is, if they're paying a punt returner to stay that barely sees the field, and if Alabama doesn't get more stops, he ain't going to be out there any at all. If they're paying a punt returner to stay and they're recruiting in the top 10 with all these other programs, how is NIL an issue?
How many commitments is that?
Alabama has got 21 commitments.
21 commitments.
And according now, look, people in the industry do not like what On3 does with this NIL evaluation. But the per player valuation that Alabama has is $167,000 per player. USC's is $170, Georgia's is $177, Oregon's is $273. Theirs is way out of whack, but no, I know it's crazy, isn't it? But Notre Dame's is 96. Texas is 167. A&M's is 98. Alabama's 167. Tennessee's 136. Ohio State's 135. Michigan's 100 grand. According to On3, Alabama's spending per player just about better than anybody in this top 10.
I think if you had, NFL general managers look at the rosters, they probably would say this roster is a top 5 roster in college football. That's what doesn't make any sense.
And who did Alabama not get out of the portal because they couldn't pay them? Or who did Alabama lose to the portal?
They didn't have to go really to get anybody at the portal because nobody left.
That's right. So how does that happen?
Well, they got Isaiah Horton. I don't know.
Well, he got hurt in the game. I think Isaiah Horton's – I thought he was poised to have a pretty good year, but – I've been wrong about a lot of Alabama so far in the offseason, so I don't know what Isaiah Horton will do. He got banged up in the Florida State game, but I thought he had a chance to be a pretty integral part of Alabama's passing game. I thought that was a good get for them out of the portal.
Auburn spent a lot of money in the portal, correct?
Yeah, they spent $2 million reportedly on a quarterback, and right now he leads the SEC in rushing, and that's the reason Auburn is 1-0.
Yeah,
it's because he leads the SEC in rushing. So that was obviously money well spent. They go get Eric Singleton. I don't know how much they paid him in theory, but Eric Singleton, I think you saw, he's going to be a big part of this offense. They ran a lot of plays with him and with him as a decoy, so he's going to be a big part of this offense.
Decoy was huge for them.
It was. So I just don't know.
You guys talk to the NIL people. You don't think, Brown, you talk to NIL people. You don't think there's a gap between Alabama and some of the highest spenders
don't get
in
me
college
wrong.
football?
I do think there's a gap in what Alabama's coffers are and what Ohio State's coffers are. But I need you to tell me practically how that has hurt Alabama. You can't say that that's why Alabama's in this situation right now. You can't say that Alabama has is 9.
Well, I don't think AJ's saying that.
No, I'm not saying AJ is, but I'm saying a lot of people, when you point at this, say, well, it's NIL and there's no evidence that Alabama trailing behind in NIL has hurt Alabama in any way.
I think both points are correct.
I think I did a bad job of setting it up for you, or you missed my point here.
I completely understand what AJ is saying.
The conversation was who's going to come, who wants this job. It's going to be more attractive after the next
they're
guy.
going to have to spend more money.
Yeah, I'm saying it's not as attractive of a job as you think it is.
Like if Oregon is spending twice as much on a player.
Right. If I'm Dan Lanning, why would I leave Oregon if I've got to go do the job and I've only got half the money?
These will be the my belief is Kalen DeBoer was like, damn, I got to a national championship with Washington. If I want to win one, I'm going to come to Alabama and make more money. I think whoever takes the job, and again, I think Kalen DeBoer is going to be here for a while. I think he's going to turn this thing around. I'm going to stick with it. But if somebody else was to come in, I think one of the first questions they ask, how are we going to raise this commitment to NIL? Yeah. We have to spend more money.
And again, I'm with Lance and thinking the same thing about Kalen DeBoer, that he'll be here a long time. I think this is people that are talking about buying him out, whether it's a power booster to Chris Lowe and Andy Staples or Joe Blow on the street, it's an asinine conversation right now. There is zero chance you ought to be thinking about buying out Kalen DeBoer. Asinine conversation. What are you pointing at right
What's
here?
that word right there?
Asinine?
Oh, it is asinine, yeah.
Thank you. Jack State and Montevallo teaming up. It's an asinine conversation, but I also say I don't practically see if Alabama's lagging behind in NIL, how has that ever shown up? And I get the conversation we're having here. I'm just saying, as an addition to that conversation, you tell me how that has hurt Alabama one time. I don't see how it has.
It hasn't, because this roster is good enough to win games.
I think so.
Yeah, they're supposed to win games with this roster. It's good enough. Courtney Morgan does a good job with the money he's got to put together a good roster in Tuscaloosa. Several sponsors behind here, including our friends at Bojangles. Tell us about Bojangles.
They can make a bow time for you. Bojangles is right there, ready to cater that party for you. They are ready to cater that tailgate for you. It can be bow time for you at Bojangles. And they've got those great hand-breaded chicken tenders, those great salsas that go with them. And, oh, by the way, when you love breakfast, the pork chop griller is back at Bojangles for a limited time. We know you missed it. It missed you, too. That juicy, mouth-watering pork chop and sandwich on a flaky, made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. It's a flavor you never want to say goodbye to. It's available right now at your local Bojangles, where it's bow time.
Hey, if you wear glasses or contacts, you're wasting money each and every year. I've told you before, Dr. Mark Michelson, the first to perform the LASIK procedure in the state of Alabama back in 1995. Make the call that I made. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. For more information, MichelsonLaserVision.com. Conveniently located UAB Highlands. Call, book the consultation. Absolutely free. Nothing to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. 205-969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
All right, a lot of talk about Alabama for the first 2 hours there. Go read that On3 story with Chris Lowe and Andy Staples there. Interesting read there from one booster in Tuscaloosa and an agent, both anonymous. Hugh Freeze gets asked this week about Auburn's passing game. A lot of running. Where's Auburn's passing game? A lot of people believe it will come eventually when people get out of the too high safety shell to force you to run the football. Here's Hugh Freeze on that passing game.
Well, I think that will come when at some point you're going to have a box that you don't like, and you're going to have to throw the football to win football games, and those days are coming. And the good thing is, I think we have the ability and people that can do that. It would be good to get Jackson some of those reps before, sooner than later. But in that game in particular, it was just very difficult when you're really ripping off good runs, not to continue to do that and control the clock and not give that ball back to them, because I think they're a really good offense. So I think that time's coming where we get to see the full aspect of what we can be when needed.
Okay, a lot of respect for that wide receiving core. As Hugh's saying, at some point they're going to make Auburn prove that they can throw the football. You guys said if you're Alabama, you wished you had a Missouri this week.
Yeah.
If you're Auburn, do you wish you had somebody else this week that you could actually give this a test on before you go on the road?
No, I think this is actually a really good opponent. And I was gonna ask this question as a follow-up. Jackson Arnold against Ball State could probably have 400 rush yards if you were like, all right, let's go see if we can break a school record here with Jackson. Do you say, we've seen it, we know he can run the football?
Oh, I mix it up. I'd go complete opposite here. I'm flinging it all over.
That's what I'm saying. I would try my best to throw it here. I would try Ball State to make it look like we're running the West Coast offense here. We're going to throw it.
Yeah, Simmons, Singleton, Coleman, they're all massive numbers.
I want all those guys to have a bunch of receptions, and I want to build confidence in that pass game. I want Jackson Arnold to leave the Ball State game knowing I've shown I can run. I've done it against a Power 5 team on the road, Power 4 team on the road. I want him to leave that game going into the South game knowing I can hurl it all over the field if we need to as well. Now, that could be Confederate money against Ball State, but I'll worry about that on down the line. I'm just building confidence right now.
Well, that's what I said. I'm okay with Alabama being with ULM this weekend to build a little confidence.
No. It's a different situation with Alabama. I don't think it's confidence with Alabama. I think with Alabama, if I'm an Alabama fan, I want to see them go out and have an edge against a team that they have to have an edge against. You don't have to have an edge.
Yeah, I need to know where. Like, I got a pretty good barometer on Auburn. Like, I think kind of the floor is 7 wins for Auburn now, and there's a higher ceiling. But for Alabama, I want to know that this team can be competitive with top 25 teams.
That's what I'm saying, Jim. I want Alabama right now to play a team that can hit them in the mouth and make them have to hit back. ULM is not that team. With Auburn, it's a different story. They got hit in the mouth, and they responded well.
Cut number 15, Tyler, gets us to the top of the hour. This is the sound of the day brought to you by our friends at Walk-Ons. Walk-Ons with great locations just off Highway 280, Tattersall Park, just off I-50 and I-459, or Highway 150 and I-459 in Hoover, right near the Hoover Met there. And also out in Trussville, our friends at Walk-Ons, where you get great food and a great place to watch the game with a Cajun flair to it and the unbelievable beer selection you get there. It's our friends at Walk-Ons. Here's Lane Kiffin. We broke it down for 2 hours. Let's just ask Lane to give us his observations about all of college football after week one. Lane, take it away.
Sounds like there's a lot of, parity in games and stuff. I think that's going to continue to show. I think it showed last year, just with NIL and how everybody has a chance to get really good players. You know, they can just, any team can go overpay and get somebody. So I think that causes for parity, and I think that causes people to really be able to jump from maybe a really poor season where it might take 2-3 years to turn over a roster to be able to turn it over really quick and, you know, completely change the roster and be a very different team, you know, week 1 than they were week 12.
Yeah, so Lane Kiffin, not saying Florida State right there, but they changed their roster a little bit.
It felt baked in there, didn't it?
Yeah. Lane didn't jump in and take any shots at anybody. No Hugh Freeze golf tweets after this weekend. I missed that. It's almost business time for Lane Kiffin.
Yeah. I think Lane probably knows what Lance had on his whiteboard right there. They got both hands full Saturday.
Yeah, and it's pretty interesting. He's lost 3 of his first 4 SEC openers as the head coach at Ole Miss.
Wow,
so
it's sort of
Brian Kelly like
great value LSU.
Yeah. So I do think this game is one of those that, you know, he knows how important it is against Kentucky.
Yeah. By the way, Missouri lost Sam Horn in their game. That quarterback battle didn't last. A leg injury that's going to limit him for a while now. So Bo Pribula is the starter, gets all the playing time as Missouri plays host to Kansas in a rivalry game that will be huge in the SEC happening this weekend. 1 more hour to go. The show being brought to you by our friends at Inverness Country Club. LT, tell us about the great folks at Inverness where they're reworking the Racket Center right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got tennis, you've got pickleball, and of course, you've got golf out there. We played just a couple of weeks ago. They've got memberships that fit everyone. Find your sense of community at Inverness Country Club. And how about this? You've got access to courses at 37 other clubs around the country when you ask about that Heritage Plus option. Got a couple of friends that actually do this. They travel for business, so they're able to play these other great courses all under this one membership. Maybe you relocated or retired. Inverness is a great place to network. Childcare, also a big plus. You and your wife want a day of golf or tennis. Guess what? You can drop the kid, go have yourself a day on the court or course. Best days happen in Inverness. To take a tour of this unbelievable club, call Erin today. Tell her the next round sent you. 205-991-8608 or online, iccalabama.com.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Honey, a while back, life knocked me flat on my behind. I was hit by an 18-wheeler, and Lord of mercy, it left me hurting. Now, I heard through the grapevine that Alexander Shannara had recovered big money for some people. You been hurt? Can't work? Don't sit there suffering. Call my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Ain't gonna cost you a dime, so pick up the phone and dial 659-777-7777 or go to Shannara.com, because when I called, Alexander Shannara answered.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Get all your favorite Next Round gear all in one place, nextround.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt, you can look your best by shopping with us at nextround.store. Take the Next Round anywhere with nextround.store.
Get all your favorite Next Round gear all in one place. Nextround.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt. You can look your best by shopping with us at Nextround.store. Take the next round anywhere with Nextround.store.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Catch up on all today's Next Round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcast, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the Next Round.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459 exit 31 Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Never miss anything from the next round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, turn on automatic download so you can catch every part of the next round. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed, and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed. Thanks for always making the next round a big part of your day.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Final hour of the show brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go by and see Sterling and the whole crew down there. Same location for over a decade. Listen, I know Champy's is a chain for a lot of you, but for us, Sterling's owned building there for over a decade in the same location on Highway 119 has become a staple for us. And it's a destination lunch location if you're ever in the area or just want to make a short drive down to Alabaster. It is Southern comfort food. The chicken's brined overnight, cooked to order. The in-house made sides and desserts are delicious. And the Mississippi Delta recipe tamale is just a sweet little tribute, if you will, to the Mississippi Delta with a little heat in their tamales. So good. Hand-cut chicken fingers, perfect for your tailgate. ChampysChicken.com, Highway 119 there in Alabaster. We'll get to 4 downs coming up here in just a second, but some back and forths between coaches. Oklahoma State outmanned on their way to Eugene to play Oregon this weekend. Mike Gundy on his first start at Oklahoma State as a quarterback, and he doesn't feel like Oklahoma State and Oregon are on the same playing field. Let's go back to Gundy's first start at Oklahoma State.
Your first start was Houston, game 3.
No, I didn't start it.
No, you didn't?
Halftime.
Okay.
They put me in at halftime because I didn't even have pads.
Okay.
Now, I think the next week I went on the road Thursday night in Lincoln.
Well, the next week you guys played Illinois State after the Houston game.
Okay, so see, that's what I can't remember that. But I know it wasn't long because of what you asked me. I think I played on the road Thursday night in Lincoln because it was 15 degrees and sleeting. Is that on the schedule?
You lost 30-10. Yeah.
That was the week after Illinois State. Okay, so that one I thought, I don't even remember the Illinois State, but I remember that one because it was sleeting. And we came out of the locker room, and I was, you know the movie Christmas Story? Y'all ever watch that? Yeah. Where the kid goes down the well, that's how I came out. And when we broke the huddle, like Nebraska's defensive line had their shirts tied up. And I thought, this is not good. But I do remember that.
Yeah, that was unneeded, by the way.
He is one of a kind, though, that one.
He also said that Oregon should be playing on their schedule teams that have matching NIL rosters. His does not. He basically painted a scenario that they are playing out of their league as they go to play at Oregon this week.
I am going to say the Big 12 probably won't comment like that.
You know,
Not a
hey,
good look.
we're not competitive with the Big Ten. I mean, you know, if we're ultimately going to have two super conferences with the Big Ten and the SEC, this shows you the separation. I just think that's unneeded to say, right?
Well, but you know, it's funny is that was one of the original programs that had the power booster that was up front about.
Yep.
I'll give whatever. Now he and Gundy oftentimes I think were on the outs. He and T. Boone Pickens, but T. Boone Pickens has passed on.
Oh, this would be Texas Tech if he was still alive.
Yeah, I would agree 100%. T. Boone Pickens in this era, Oklahoma State would be the power of the Big 12 probably.
And then there's the post comments from Dabo Swinney at his news conference this week that I didn't really understand why he said this. And then Brian Kelly got a chance to serve it right back at Dabo. Here's Dabo Swinney and Brian Kelly after LSU went into Clemson and got the win this week.
It was a hell of a game. It was a hell of a game. Down the last play. Right out of the gate. It's like getting the final exam day one of class. They made a 65, we made a 58. Neither one of us were great.
I mean, I thought we dominated him in the second half. So he's either a really good grader for, giving himself a 58, or he's a really hard grader on us, or he didn't see the second half, which that might be the case. He might not have wanted to see the second half.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, boy, that's a great comeback by Brian Kelly.
Yeah, but I mean, a little petty on the back end of that too. I guess he's got to say that. I like the, maybe he's just an easy grader on himself or too hard of a grader on us, but not watching the second half.
I mean, I think
that's a shot right there.
I think Dabo kind of caught himself wanting to say we played bad, but then realizing if I say we play bad, we lost a close game to LSU. What am I saying about LSU, right? So now I got to make us both play bad.
And there's a potential we get to see that game again somewhere in the playoffs. So keep that clip, save it, because we'll get that coming back in the playoffs. Cut 14, Tyler. What is not unsaid? And listen, to be fair, we get on coaches sometimes who throw players under the bus, don't we?
Yeah, I mean it's a bad look when they're getting paid. It becomes a little more tolerable.
Yeah, it does.
But I felt like we jumped on Hugh Freeze a couple of times on this show when he threw Peyton Thorne under the bus.
He did, and you're right about that.
Well, he never took accountability.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're okay throwing it under the bus if you're also willing to take the L too.
Okay. Dabo Swinney on Cade Klubnik's performance. It's 90 seconds long, but I want you to absorb all of this, and you tell me fair or not fair.
They didn't do anything we didn't expect. They didn't. He created a lot of the pressure because he held the ball. He didn't throw like the 3rd and 12. 3rd and 12 when he took off scramble. I mean, the read is Tyler Brown. He's the read. It's a 50-yard touchdown if he just throws the ball. But for some reason, he came off and then he started scrambling. So it's a base play. It's not even complicated. It's a very simple play. We got another play on the play that he threw to. He's got a man side, his own side, and he had the slant for maybe a 50-yard touchdown to Wesco. But he threw it right to Sapp on a double coverage. It's a base play, day one. And he just didn't read his progression there. I mean, it just eyes on the wrong thing. And again, sometimes you struggle, you just do too much. But he had a bad day. There ain't no other way to say it. I mean, like we gotta. If two ain't a dude, we ain't winning. Dudes got to be dudes. This is big boy football. So I mean, that's just the way it is. And I can't. I mean, he's not a freshman. He ain't a freshman. He'll respond. But like I said earlier, if our biggest issue coming out of that game is our best player didn't play well, we'll be all right.
I mean, at one point, you would at least like the obligatory, now look, I got to coach him better. I mean, at one point in that whole 90 seconds, even if it's so fake it's obvious, at least give me the obligatory, now look, Cade didn't have the best game, but we got to coach Cade better. That's on us. If he's not doing day one, which, by the way, if your Heisman Trophy candidate struggling with day one install stuff, isn't that a little bit on the coaching?
Yeah. He is the guy I thought he was, but
I guarantee you
said it, yeah.
Dabo has had a conversation with Cade before these comments.
I would agree. He
and
knows
look,
he can
we
take
expect
it.
a lot more. Like, you've got to make these reads. I mean,
Cade has attempted over 1,000 passes in his Clemson career. He's played a ton of football, and he shouldn't look as bad as he looked.
And he left at least 2, apparently 50-yard touchdown passes were left on that field left and right because there were 2 of them there from Dabo. Ironically, both of them were going to be 50-yard touchdowns.
Yeah, I would have flipped the quarterbacks, and I'm not saying like, I think
if Nussmeier was the Clemson
what's
quarterback,
the final score?
No. What I'm saying is, I would have thought Nussmeier would have played more like Klubnik.
Yeah,
like the footwork wasn't good. He played really, really like amped up. He needed to slow down. The game needed to slow down for him. I was really, really surprised. I thought Nussmeier would be running for his life a lot of times Saturday night.
And that offensive line did a great job for LSU to protect him.
We doubted him all offseason.
Did a
right.
great job.
Yep.
And the book on Klubnik, though, is he tries to do too much himself too many times. And he did it again in this game.
Again, I want to wait and see. Antonio Williams going down was big.
Huge.
They looked awful in the second half, though.
Huge.
Awful.
The real quick, though, the funny thing is they both threw 38 passes, which surprised me a little bit that there was that much passing in that game. Now,
it stayed low scoring, though, like we thought.
Nussmeier, I thought it was going to be a little higher scoring than 17-10. I thought this was going to be in the 20s. I thought Texas-Ohio State would be very low scoring. I didn't think it'd be that low scoring.
Yeah.
I thought this game would be played in the 20s. I thought this would be like 28-24 type game. So I was wrong about that. But Nussmeier was 28 of his 38, and Klubnik was only 19 of his 38.
Our show being brought to you by a couple of great folks. One of them, our friends at Alabama Power, as we work our way towards 4 downs.
Yeah, our friends at Alabama Power, not only keeping the power on and trying to keep your rates as low as they can, they're also doing great work in our community as well. Listen, if you have not checked out Alabama Power's new customer tools, you are missing out. Number one, they're free, they're easy to use, and they help you save money and better manage your electrical service. They've got Rate Advisor, which is like a matchmaker, but for your rate plan. They've got Bill Explainer, which helps explain your bill in just plain language. And they've got Energy Assistant, connecting customers with savings programs and financial resources when they need them the most. So check out all 3 tools right now, alabamapower.com.
And our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. That's Greg from Pell City. Listen, if you're not getting your roof repaired or a new roof when you need it because you're afraid of the deductible being too much money, well, he's got some financing available for you now that will help you take care of your most valued possession in most cases. That's the home you live in. And any roof problems can cause major problems down the road. So don't let paying a deductible keep you from getting a new roof when you need it or repairing a roof when you need to repair it. Let Greg from Pell City help you out. Storm Restoration Roofing. He'll give you a free, no-cost roof inspection. Absolutely free, 205-542-3531. Family owned for over 20 years. It is Storm Restoration Roofing. Greg from Pell City on Facebook. Let's do 4 downs.
First down.
What happens first? Ole Miss loses a game this season, or Jackson Dart gets a start, his first start for the New York Giants?
Is he starting Sunday?
He is not starting Sunday.
Let me see Ole Miss's schedule if we can.
And look, I mean, after this weekend, they don't leave until middle of October to go to Athens. I mean, they've got home games, but they're tough home games. So they've got Kentucky. There you go.
Kentucky, and then Arkansas at home, Tulane at home, LSU at home. Oh, I'll say Ole Miss loses the game.
Yeah, I think so too.
Before Jackson Dart starts.
Yeah, I think Jackson Dart, I mean, I know you went out and got Russell Wilson for that veteran presence, but Brian Dable is coaching for his job. And I saw enough for Jackson Dart in the preseason that I would go on and roll him out. But I do think it'll be.
So you think Dart gets the start?
No,
before?
I'm going to go Ole Miss loses. I think they're going to play Russell Wilson probably longer than they should.
And you think Ole Miss loses first?
Yes.
To LSU is probably the one we're all circling right now after having seen LSU.
Yeah, but they could lose to Kentucky or Arkansas or Tulane.
I was telling you guys in the Lane Kiffin era, here are your Kentucky Ole Miss scores. See if you see a trend here. Ole Miss 42, Kentucky 41. That game was played in Lexington. In Oxford, Ole Miss 22, Kentucky 19. In Oxford, Kentucky 20, Ole Miss 17. They are all very, very close games. And since that first meeting, Mark Stoops has figured out that Ole Miss offense, it appears. You're starting to sell me on Kentucky here coming up Saturday, but I'll still say.
I don't know if I like that.
I still say.
Ole Miss by a million.
All of a sudden, I've got the plague with
Well,
these
no,
guys.
it's not that. I think it's more people are noticing like how close Mark Stoops and Kentucky have played Ole Miss.
Now, I will point out Lane is 2-1 in these 3 games, but they have been very, very close wins, those 2 wins. I will go Ole Miss loses before Jackson Dart starts, though.
Second down.
More total touchdowns this week. The Cowboys tomorrow night against the Eagles, or Arch against San Jose State on Saturday.
Seems like Arch is the easy answer here, Jim. He rebounds against San Jose State.
But how much is he going to play?
It's a feel-good game against San Jose State. He'll play at least into the third quarter.
You think 5 touchdowns?
I mean, who is the backup quarterback at Texas?
I don't even know.
Great question.
You've known it the last 2 years.
Yep, I don't know it now.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, you have.
Yeah. And how come we don't have
should be Arch Manning? And
how come we don't know that guy's name? How come there's not a that guy's name package?
Should be Arch Manning.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way,
I'm going to take Arch more passing.
Looking at mybookie.ag, the Eagles are now a 9-point favorite. That thing has done nothing but climb. Your total's 47.5.
If I get to 10.5, I'll take the Cowboys.
10.5.
Oh, I think I'm not sure yet.
I mean, it's at 9.
I mean, they were complete blowout. I mean, back to
that's my
the
point.
Stoops against Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin.
The Eagles destroyed the Cowboys twice last year, so I will take Arch in this one.
10.5 is a magic number for me.
Okay, so you need a whole nother point and a half.
Oh, but if it gets to 10.5, you could tease the Eagles down just to win the game.
Third down.
Jeannie Finch, 45 years old today. Better career, Jeannie Finch or Danica Patrick?
Jeannie Finch.
I will go Jeannie Finch as well.
I mean, she was much better at her craft. Now,
Yeah.
Danica was, I think, more known, though.
Oh, yeah,
Made
she was
more
definitely
money.
more known. Yeah, she was. I mean, softball's a fringe sport. When Finch played it, it's far more mainstream now, but not when Finch played it.
Yeah, I mean,
she did play for the U.S. team, though.
And Danica had a lot of endorsement deals.
And Jeannie Finch also was toured around and was on This Week in Baseball, did a lot of social media stuff where she would go and strike out Barry Bonds and things like that. I'm going to say Jeannie Finch.
I think better career just because of success.
I've had a personal interaction, oddly enough, with both of these. Jeannie Finch, personal interaction, 12 out of 10. Danica Patrick, negative 12 out of 10. So based on that alone, I'm going to go Jeannie Finch.
Yeah, Jeannie Finch for me, too.
Fourth down.
Jeannie Finch, incredibly nice person, by the way. I would like to say that about her.
Charlie Sheen, 60 years old. I saw we've got a documentary on Netflix coming out next week about Charlie Sheen, which should be interesting with some of the interviews that are going to take place in that documentary. It's much like the Cowboys. I think we're blown away with how much access they got to different personalities.
Right.
You're going to get this with this Charlie Sheen interview coming up. Ex-wives, girlfriends, hookers, Heidi Fleiss, Sean Penn.
I love that you have to include hookers.
Yeah.
Better career, Charlie Sheen or Charlie Brown? Charlie's Angels.
I'm going Charles Woodson or Charlie Sheen.
I mean, Charlie Sheen's had a good career.
How would you rate Woodson's NFL career?
Oh, he was one of the best cornerbacks of all time.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be an A, right?
Yeah, but Charlie Sheen, the A movies were early, like Wall Street, Platoon, when he was doing the Oliver Stone movies.
I know, but I mean, that counts.
No, look, I think Charlie Sheen's had a hell of a career.
But my,
and Two Men and or Two and a Half Men.
2.5 Men was
he
a
made
smashing
a
success.
Fortune on that.
Yep. Yeah, that was one of the most successful sitcoms of all time, 2.5 Men. But Charles
this
Woodson,
one's tough.
Charles Woodson, though, I mean, what percentage of players give you an A+ in college and an A+ in the NFL? That doesn't happen a lot, and Charles Woodson did that. He was an A+ at Michigan.
1%.
And yeah, I mean, that may be 1%. So I think I'll go Charles Woodson.
But I mean, Charlie Sheen survived being a child actor.
Oh, yeah.
He's still alive, which is pretty incredible.
No, there's no doubt.
Red Dawn, Platoon, Wall Street, 8 Men Out, which I enjoyed. Young Guns was good. He also won a Golden Globe for Spin City. You'll forget that.
With Michael J. Fox.
Replaced Michael J. Fox. 2.5 Men where he won Emmys and that. And a lot of other stuff.
Charles Woodson, I mean, a media career too. It's not been like high profile, but he's hung around a good while on TV. I think I'll go Charles Woodson better.
I'll lean Sheen just because he's such an icon.
I'll go Sheen as well. Yep.
That's all I got.
That is 4 Downs today, brought to you in part by our friends at MyBookie. Bernie was just talking to us about some betting lines.
Yeah.
Including for the NFL coming up this weekend.
Yeah, so we've got, you want some NFL numbers? Here we go.
Yeah, give me Buccaneers, Falcons in Atlanta,
very
12
personal.
noon.
Very personal. Your Bucks are a 2-point road favorite, Jim. Total of 47.
Road favorite over in the house Forrester built.
That's right. Lance, your L.A. Rams are a 3-point home favorite against the Texans.
Tough game.
That is a tough game. They all are in week 1, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
The Miami Dolphins, a 1-point road dog at Indianapolis.
These are why these suicide pools pay so much.
Why do you guys start with such an easy out-of-conference game?
Yeah, at Indianapolis. Right? We're a dog. Who would you play in a Survivor pool? Almost everybody. If you play the obvious when you load up on the
I'm not going to
Cowboys.
tell you my secret to Survivor pool this year, but I've got one.
Would this be a secret? Do you go obvious first, or you try to get off the board first? Is that part of your secret?
It seems like there's an obvious that everybody gets on week 1, and half the field is blown out.
It's Philadelphia. They're a 9-point favorite.
Well, Cam Ward is making his rookie debut on the road, altitude game against arguably the best defense in football.
8.5. Denver, 8.5. That's a great play in a Survivor pool. Denver, 8.5. Sneaky Super Bowl contender.
I mean, if Cam Ward goes on the road and beats that Denver defense, that would be shocking.
That would be shocking.
You just pick a winner, though, right?
That's all you got to do.
Not against the spread. Just a winner.
Seems very easy. I was talking to our friend Sammer the other night at our kickoff party.
Yep.
He said by week 6, and this is a massive pool, everybody was done and they had to reset the pool last year.
Survivor pools are tough. Yeah. I think you go as obvious as you can. A lot of people try to sneak a pick in. Week 1, I say you just go obvious until you can't go obvious anymore.
Yeah. God is going to tell you the way to do it.
I'm sneaking in San Francisco over Seattle.
I'm just playing against the Saints every week.
You
like they got Arizona this week.
Arizona's a 6.5-point favorite.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just going to play against the Saints
and see if they don't get that first win.
I don't know where they get wins. I mean, I know they've got Carolina at home.
So, Dunaway, San Francisco's a 2.5-point road favorite. You're trying to sneak that one in week 1 in a Survivor pool?
Yeah.
MyBookie.ag is where all those point spreads come from. MyBookie, those are fun. I like the Survivor pools.
Yeah, I never have liked them.
Okay, MyBookie.ag, code next round. You sign on, use code next round, and they've got a $500 bet back bonus, up to $500. Let me tell you how that works. You make your first bet up to $500. You lose on that bet, they put it right back into your account. You can fire right down again on any of those games or anything else that's right there at mybookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. mybookie.ag, code next round at mybookie.ag for that bet back bonus for you first timers there. mybookie.ag, code next round.
All right. Trash coming up in the next segment. And I also want to ask these guys who they think their MVP will be in the NFL. Give me your top 3 picks to be NFL MVP this season as the season kicks off tomorrow night. As we head to break here, though, George Raveling passed away, basketball coach at places like Iowa and USC, but he was 88, battled cancer, known as an unbelievable guy. But Michael Jordan says that he would not have been Air Jordan, that the Nike deal and all that would not have happened without George Raveling being part of it, that he's the guy that the Jordans really trusted in the whole process, and Air Jordan would not have been what it turned out to be if it wasn't for George Raveling. He was the first black coach hired in the ACC in 1969 as a bench coach for the Maryland Terrapins back when Maryland was in the ACC. George Raveling, good basketball dude, passing away at the age of 88. And good news for you Bama basketball fans, Latrell Wrightsell completely cleared for all basketball-related activities yesterday. So he is good to go for this upcoming year. Hopefully he has a healthy season. All right. When we come back, final segment of the show today being brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. If things aren't running right or flowing right, 24-hour emergency service waiting for you.
205-229-2090. Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there awaiting your call. Any issues, whether it's plumbing, heating, or cooling, home or business, these guys are ready to serve you. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
Honey, a while back, life knocked me flat on my behind. I was hit by an 18-wheeler, and Lord of mercy, it left me hurting. Now, I heard through the grapevine that Alexander Shannara had recovered big money for some people. You been hurt? Can't work? Don't sit there suffering. Call my people at Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. Ain't gonna cost you a dime, so pick up the phone and dial 659-777-7777 or go to Shannara.com, because when I called, Alexander Shannara answered.
Call me, Alabama.
No representation made that the legal services provided are better than legal services provided by other attorneys.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the next round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
Excitement awaits at Barber Motorsports Park for the UAB Medicine GT World Alabama Benefiting Teal Wings of Hope, September 5th through 7th. Witness some of the most iconic sports cars like Lamborghini, McCarron, and Ferrari battle it out on the track. Enjoy the beer gardens, food trucks, kids zone, garage, and more. The UAB Medicine GT World Alabama. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets today.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
All right, before LT tells us about Odie's, it's one game, but just in case you're wondering, Alabama 109th in rushing offense in the country. Even worse than that, they're 120th in rushing defense in the country. An Alabama defense,
oh my gosh,
is 120th in rushing defense.
Okay, well, I'll give you a worse number than that. This is the first time, if you go back to the bowl game, Alabama's failed to reach 20 points in back-to-back games since 2014. So Kalen DeBoer, known for his offense, Ryan Grubb comes in, and now you got question marks on both sides of the ball.
The Odie's Facts right there, brought to you by the great folks at Odie's.
Yeah, Odie's Team Trivia. Me and Brown will be out there a little after 8 o'clock. We'll get started tonight. The original location in Crestline. Come out early. Enjoy great food from Rodney Davis, from the wings, the burgers, the sandwiches, ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. Prizes out there that you can win every Wednesday night at Odie's Team Trivia. Birmingham Institution, 2 locations. The one we'll be at tonight, the original Crestline, Edgewood as well. Get out, see Will Haver and that great staff. It's Odie's Tavern.
Couple of injury notes from Kalen DeBoer on the SEC teleconference. Jam Miller, it's possible that he'll play against Wisconsin, according to Kalen DeBoer today. And Kalen DeBoer, that from Mike Rodak of AL.com, Nick Kelly of AL.com, saying that DeBoer on the SEC teleconference says Tim Keenan is still unavailable this week, but he is making good progress, quote, not a long-term injury. So Rodak with a DeBoer quote that Jam Miller could play as early as the Wisconsin game. Nick Kelly, AL.com, saying DeBoer saying Keenan not available this week, but not a long-term injury. Probably Georgia is the target date for that return for Keenan. All right, Brownie is wanting to question us about something real quick. First of all, explain to us what a QBR is. Is it a passer rating or a quarterback
QBR
play?
is quarterback rating, which is the one that's out of 100.
Okay, so
passer rating is the one the NFL uses, which is out of I can't remember, the 137.
So this doesn't involve throwing the football.
What do you mean?
I mean, it's not just throwing. It's not just passer
Not completion
rating.
percentage. This is all things considered. Your number one in the nation, for instance, is Gunnar Stockton after 1 week at 99.1.
By the way, Gunnar Stockton, the first quarterback in Kirby Smart's time at Georgia to have 10 or more rushing attempts in a game.
Oh, hey, look, 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns. That QBR, the highest for a Georgia quarterback since Stetson Bennett in the national championship game
I'm
against
surprised
TCU.
Stetson Bennett never ran it more than 10 times. That's pretty
more
crazy
than
to
10
me.
rushes.
Yeah. Stetson
10
Bennett
carries.
had some wheels.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, so your worst Power 5 QBRs right now.
So you want us to guess who's got the worst one in Power 5?
The worst one, I don't know how much y'all watched this game. I watched very, very little of it, but I did see some of it. But these are from Power 5 teams.
Oh, I thought Lopez was pretty bad.
Gio Lopez is not your answer. He was pretty bad.
I said Zach Calzada.
Zach Calzada is the 4th worst. He is not your answer. Preston Stone of Northwestern is your answer. And I don't know how much of that y'all watched.
0.
Northwestern was awful.
Well, you know, the story going into that game, and I didn't know about it until after the game, apparently Tulane, to not celebrate, to honor the Katrina victims and everything, they wanted to wear their white jerseys.
That is right.
And David Braun and Northwestern said, no, thanks. And look, this gets a little tricky because if you're playing in New Orleans and it's 95 degrees, there could be a difference when you're wearing a purple or a white jersey.
Yeah, but David Braun brought this up. Some backstories to this, because I know Brownie and I applauded the way John Summerall answered the question and used it as motivation. David Braun, very upfront. We meant no disrespect. They didn't reach out to us until August the 17th to ask to wear their white jerseys. It was sort of a last-minute thing. And according to David Braun, at that point, we patched up, got the uniforms ready to go and everything. And the story is factually backed up now. Braun, in his time in college 20 years ago, actually went to New Orleans with other people that he knew at that point in time and helped rebuild homes in the city of New Orleans.
Yeah, it hurts.
During his time when he was a younger man. He says, I meant no disrespect to the city of New Orleans. In fact, I was in New Orleans rebuilding afterwards. I saw the devastation.
That's all you got to say.
You guys didn't reach out to us until August the 17th, and at that point it was too late. So I meant no disrespect.
I'm going to give my points to Northwestern here.
Yeah, and I understand what Summerall was saying and understanding. I mean, to me, August 17th is still plenty of time to change jerseys. You're going to wear your home jerseys anyway. They should be patched up, ready to go. That one's a no-go for me, but I could understand. I initially thought the heat thing for me. I don't want to wear black or dark purple, and you want to wear white. We're going to be in New Orleans.
I mean, it could have been 100 degrees in August.
So I understand, why Tulane wanted to honor that team with those white uniforms.
Yeah, it would have been a nice gesture. But when you hear the other side of the story from David Braun, I applauded John Summerall for his reaction. I thought it was fantastic. But David Braun's got a nice point as well.
Yeah, the fact that he actually went and built rebuilt homes after Katrina. Give him a tip of the cap.
Let me just real quickly do this. Ben Goldberson, if you watch Stanford, this is no surprise to you. He's second worst. Mark Gronkowski of Iowa, third worst. Iowa plays Iowa State this weekend. They're getting their same old quarterback play. Zach Calzada, fourth worst. They're playing Ole Miss. Kevin Jennings, SMU, fifth worst. Not a great start for him. Robbie Ashford, the former Auburn product, sixth worst. But here's the list. 7, 8, 9. DJ Lagway, Florida. We just talked about them. Seventh worst QBR, just a 29.7 out of Lagway. Cade Klubnik, if you watched the game, and Dabo Swinney just told you Cade Klubnik was awful. And then Drew Aller of Penn State against Nevada, just a 39.3 QBR.
Yep. One more thought on that before we get to our MVP picks for the NFL. This from ESPN Stats. Arch Manning, off-target rate, missing his throwing target, was 37% in the game against Ohio State. The worst off-target rate at Texas in the last decade.
Oh, I believe it.
Now, there's been some shaky quarterback play in the last decade.
Yeah.
37%. That means 37% of his passes were not on target by ESPN Stats.
But
Again, I don't know who says they're in charge.
And obviously Quinn Ewers. I mean, those are good quarterbacks.
Yeah. So there you go. Another stat thing.
His QBR was a 58, by the way.
Tell us about A+, and then let's pick our give us 3 people to watch for the NFL MVP this year.
It is my guy, Brad Bell, the guy that redid the master bath in the Brown home. When it came time for that project, my wife scoured the internet. Looking for the right person for the job. Brad Bell is the guy she's picked. She did pick. We're glad she did, because he came in. He said, all right, give me your vision. Our bathroom was white. It was lighter. We wanted it darker. It needed some updates. We gave him our vision. He goes, okay, that's what we're going to do. And boy, did he ever do it. He didn't try to talk us into something else. In fact, he told us, check out those one-day bathroom remodels you see on TV. He goes, a lot of times my beds are better than theirs, and they're only doing one day of work. And he goes, a lot of times they just come in and throw a shower over an existing shower, no clean. I mean, it's just disgusting to think about what might be behind the shower wall there. Brad doesn't do any of that. In fact, he specializes in doing great work in master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. The reason I point that out, you spend a lot of time in those rooms. You want them to be the best and the most functional they can be. And when you go to sell your home, you'll make some of your money back on those rooms when you spend money on them with guys like Brad. Brad Bell, 205-422-1758. That is his number. Get him to come out and look at your job, 205-422-1758. Or if you just want to see more, online, AlabamaBathRemodels.com. AlabamaBathRemodels.com.
All right. 3 names to keep an eye on for the NFL MVP. Let's see if we match up all 3.
Okay, I'm going to go dark horse first, so you guys will not have this.
Okay.
Coming off rookie year, Jared Verse is unblockable. I think he leads the NFL with 15 sacks this year. Hard for a defensive player to win an MVP,
very hard, yeah.
But that's just going to be a dark horse. My other 2 guys, obvious guys, Josh Allen was lights out last year. Got to put him on this list. But I think ultimately the guy that's going to win it, when you look at his numbers last year, they were fantastic. Joe Burrow, but the defense wasn't good enough to get them over the hump. I think the defense a little bit better with Al Golden, and I think Burrow is going to win the MVP.
So I've got Josh and Joe, 1 and 3. I've got a number 2 guy. Let's see if you match my number 2 guy.
I don't know. I've got not really a dark horse. I'm going to start at the top. I think you got to look at Lamar Jackson always with Baltimore.
I would assume that's your number 2, unless it's your boy Baker.
Now, here's the problem with Lamar Jackson. He doesn't perform well in the postseason. The voting is done before that. And I always wonder how many voters are like, yeah, these are empty calories. This guy does this every regular season and lets him down in the postseason. And that hurts him in the voting, even though the games aren't played. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Josh Allen, I think any discussion in this, you've got to include Josh Allen. And my third guy would be Jaden Daniels. If Washington can have a big year in his second year, as some think they can, and contend with Philadelphia for that division, look out for Jaden Daniels.
My number 2 guy, Josh is 1, Burrow is 3. My number 2 guy, because this team I think could be 13-4 when it's all said and done. Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. I think they've added a great defensive piece, which is going to help them win some games. And I think that brings more eyeballs to him and what he's able to do offensively. So I go Josh Allen, Jordan Love, Joe Burrow.
Great week
Baker
1
Mayfield.
game with Green Bay and Detroit going after it. And I think Matthew Golden coming into Green Bay from Texas, big weapon for him as well.
I know Baltimore and Buffalo will get all the play, and as Dallas and Philadelphia and KC and the Chargers Thursday and Friday. But for me, the best Sunday day game is not even close. It's Detroit and Green Bay.
Yeah, there's some good ones. I mean, that Rams-Houston game is going to be really, really good, too.
Yeah, they're all big for you, Rams and Houston.
Yeah, but I mean, those are two postseason teams, though. I mean, that's a hell of a game.
I love my boy D'Amico Ryans.
But you think it's trending down?
I feel like C.J. Stroud is.
I don't know. I hope you're right.
A big year for him.
I hope he throws 4 picks and gets sacked 10 times.
Jimmy had a lot of injured receivers last year, I think.
He did. And Nico Collins, when he went out,
it changed everything,
Yeah. By the way, Eli Drinkwitz, love him, hate him. I really have an opinion about him. But I do love him on the SEC teleconference today. Before you hit the trash open, Tyler, Drinkwitz gets asked about fourth down decisions in analytics. Quote, "They pay me to make decisions, not to refer to a book," end quote. I like that.
I do like that.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about him overall, but I do like that. I do like that aspect.
I mean, it drives me crazy now to see some guy on the sideline that's got highlighted green and orange papers that looks like, for you kids out there, it looks like an Atlanta metro area phone book from back in the 1980s. It is a huge book flipping through on what they should do next. Drives me absolutely crazy, that analytics book.
You can go another quick quote just because we've talked about it all day. Kalen DeBoer has been asked on the SEC teleconference about the Chris Lowe and Andy Staples report. And
okay. Let's slow this down a little bit. Don't hit the button yet.
So this is from the SEC teleconference, which goes on.
Recap everybody what the On3 Andy Staples.
Can you do that real quick? So let me make sure I've got the exact quote here.
So earlier, we told you on 3 Sports, Chris Lowe, Andy Staples working together. They quote an anonymous power broker booster at Alabama, somebody whose portrait hangs in the Donor Hall of Recognition, who talked about uninspired performances and having a roster good enough to win, that basically this guy's unhappy, and it's not just about Saturday. It goes back to last year. And so makes it look like the power boosters are becoming unhappy in Tuscaloosa. So that sets the stage.
All right, here we go. From Nick Kelly and Brandon Marcello, I'm going to piece the thing together. When asked about the booster unrest, my message is that our team we've got a good football team that can do some big things still this year, and we've got to go do it. To this point, it's just been me being able to focus on football. I appreciate that. I don't entirely know what he's saying there. I have not heard it, obviously, but it feels like maybe he was caught a bit off guard by the question.
There seems like there's 3 things going on in his brain. I said this yesterday at all time.
My point.
I think it's moving a little too fast for me.
Yeah.
I made this point Saturday in our postgame show. When he walked off the field Saturday, it was the first time that he really was experiencing the Alabama job in its fullness.
Yeah. The weight.
The reason why, because when you lose in Seattle, if he'd have lost the big opener in Seattle when he was at Washington.
Even to Eastern Washington.
I don't care who it was to. You know where most of the TV cameras were this week? They were at the Seahawks facility.
That's
getting ready
right.
for the Seahawks opener.
Yep.
Everybody in the nation has been talking about Alabama's loss.
That's right.
It's been on Get Up. Mm-hmm. It's been on Sit Down. It's been on Spin Around.
Okay.
On all of our TV.
But I don't understand it. Like, I understand kind of Mike Price when he took the job coming from Pullman because, again, it was before social media was what it is now. I mean, Kalen DeBoer is coaching in NIL. Guys are making $10 million a year. When he took this job, he knew what he was getting into.
No, everybody knows what they're getting into, LT. And you look at that roster, you look at the Alabama program, you think you're going to go down there and you're going to make all this money and you're going to kill it. And you're not going to have to worry about boosters. They're going to love me. They're going to be very happy. Will Leitch or Leach at The Athletic?
I think it's Leach.
Wrote a story. I read it yesterday. College football coaches make millions. You couldn't pay me enough to be one. And it's Kalen DeBoer's picture. And it starts off by talking about psychologists always used to say you had to take a stress inventory in your life. Being fired at your job, detention in jail, and a major change in your health were the 3 biggest impacts on your mind and your body in life.
So going to prison, being fired,
major change in your health, or losing your job.
Yeah.
Not just coaches. Now, this is everybody.
Yeah.
In life. Those were the 3 determining factors on mental and physical health in America. And then it goes on to say, now, unless you're a college football coach, you have all this money in this buyout, but you can't pay me to go through what these guys have to go through.
Well, look, I mean, you've got to have what we would call a thick skin, right? I mean, these guys have all got egos, but it does soften the blow when you get – I mean, ask Jimbo Fisher about getting fired.
Yeah. That guy can say all he wants, that he wants to get back into coaching, and maybe he does. But if he never gets back into coaching, he lives just fine.
Yeah. And it goes on to quote one of our favorite shows, Don Draper. That's what the money's for.
That's right.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, Gus has been fired a few times, right?
Yeah.
He seemed happy on Saturday.
Yeah. That's what the money's for.
That's right.
Yeah. It's not pretty. It's not pretty when and they list a number of coaches, and I used to say this all the time. Billy Napier is proving me wrong right now that once you get on the wrong side of this,
it's tough to get back.
Few coaches ever get back to the other side of it.
Oh, and Napier's not there yet.
Yeah.
Well, and Brian Kelly's not there yet.
Brian Kelly's not there yet. Now let him win a few more. Maybe they
Kalen DeBoer really isn't on the wrong side of it yet.
I think he is after Saturday. I really do.
If he's not, he's tiptoeing on the line. Yeah.
I mean, you got 11 games left.
Oh, I think that, again, man, that Georgia game is just, it falls at the wrong time.
Yeah. All right.
And by the way, that number's 32 straight home games, which is an SEC record.
Let's get to trash. Hit the button.
Tell me about the whistles. The whistles got woo. When you want to woo woo, it's that woo woo. You know what I'm saying?
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up some delicious Bud Light on your way home from work. How about that? Paramount has signed a film deal with Microsoft-owned video game publisher Activision to bring its Call of Duty franchise to the big screen. Now, under the partnership, Paramount will develop, produce, distribute a live-action feature film based on Call of Duty universe, which encompasses more than 30 mainline games released since the original Call of Duty debuted back in 2003. The valuation of the mega deal, not disclosed. I'm with you. I don't understand the video game phenomenon for movies. I know you like them.
But it's going to be just it's not going to be animated. It's going to be actors acting. It's just give me
a good war movie.
Yeah, exactly. Give me a historical war movie.
Yeah.
You don't disagree?
Yeah, I don't disagree, but I also don't see the problem. Like if
No, I mean again, look, they make bad movies every day in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, look, adaptations of Mortal Kombat, Super Mario Brothers, Minecraft made a ton of money. I heard it was one of the worst movies ever.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong, Tyler. I'm not taking my shirt off and putting banned Call of Duty movie. I'm not protesting. I'm just saying I don't understand why they do it.
Oh, well, because people know what Call of Duty is, and
I would
so
say
it has
that
a lot of built-in fans.
it's got like, what's the name of your movie? Call of Duty. I know exactly what it's about. Exactly what it's about.
I mean,
and I've
I
enjoyed
think
the game.
the three of us are like a few people that have never played the game.
I've never played Call of Duty, and I have no interest in this movie. But
I didn't realize this. It sold over 500 million copies and $30 billion in revenue.
Like, it blows Madden out of the water, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. In sales, it's not even close.
But you know why Minecraft may have sucked, but you know why it made a bundle of money is because it was aimed at kids. I mean, kids play Minecraft, and they don't care if it sucks.
It's aimed at everybody, and it just keeps growing every single year. It's amazing.
So in a bizarre scene straight out of a horror comedy, a woman in a cat mask stormed a supermarket in Japan, meowing at police officers before being dragged away. Now, the woman, reportedly in her 20s, arrested August 2nd after roaming through a supermarket, swinging knives in the air and stabbing them into display stands.
Charlie Sheen?
She was later booked on charges of carrying dangerous weapons at a public place. Video footage released by the National Police Agency on its official YouTube channel showed the woman wearing a cat mask wandering the aisles before picking up knives in the toy section. I'll read that again. Wandering aisles before picking up knives in the toy section.
It's a weird place for knives, or these fake knives.
Yeah, she raised them high and approached a group of kids who ran away as she looked around at them. Supermarket employees rushed in, urging her to calm down, but retreated when she approached them with knives. They then evacuated the customers, returned with umbrellas, confronting her and demanding she put the knife down. I'm going to take the knife over the umbrella any day.
Yeah, I would agree. I would also say, I don't know how this works in Japan, but in the United States of America, the great US of A, represented on the great Jim Dunaway's hat over there, you raise a knife at kids in a store, there's a chance you might get a slug in the chest.
Have you guys seen the footage of a Las Vegas judge dropping the sentence on this guy, and he jumps over the bench onto this woman, and she's 65, 70 years old. Have you seen it?
I have. Yeah.
And he starts whipping the shit out of her. And so the bailiffs are up there, and they start, beating him down a little bit. But I was, shocked that somebody didn't shoot him.
I guess if he's that close to the judge, you're fearful you could hit the judge as well.
I guess.
If I'm the judge, I'm like, do whatever it takes to get this guy off me. But.
So when asked by police whether she had other weapons or why she was carrying the knives, the woman responded with, meow. I can't tell you. Meow. To a question about whether or not she had a cell phone, she replied, why would I respond to that? Meow. So she did follow everything up in cat character.
Yep. Meow. I got asked yesterday about my moderate views in life.
Is this on the golf course?
On the golf course.
Yeah.
And I was explaining to my buddies that just because I have moderate views doesn't mean I don't have very strong right values in some situations.
Sure.
In favor of a strong defense, a booming economy. And it actually, a cat got brought up. So a person that identifies as a cat, should we have to bend over backwards to allow them to go to school? And I said, no, if he's identifying as a cat, he has every right to identify as a cat. My belief system is he just needs to go where cats are. I'm not adjusting school. He can go to the vet.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that.
Or to the daycare.
I'm not going to tell you how to live your life.
That's right.
Yeah.
You have the freedom to be a cat.
That's right.
If you want to be a cat, be a cat. You can't be a cat in my classroom.
That's right.
My classroom is for kids.
That's right. Don't expect me to change my life because you change yours, right?
Yeah. So if she wants to be a cat, she can be a cat. I'm going to lock her up with the cats.
That's right. But my point is, if she's a cat that's raising a knife at my kid, she's going to be a dead cat.
100%.
Florida man arrested after a meetup with a woman he met on a dating app turned violent when he allegedly ran over her after she refused to allow him to smell her feet, according to police. That was a very wordy first sentence.
She refused?
She refused.
Was he offering cash?
We're going to get to that. It happened around 2 p.m., August 24th. About 20 miles north of Miami. Investigators say 28-year-old Elmonte Circle met the woman through a dating app, invited her to the hotel. The woman, who spoke to Local 10 News but asked not to be identified, said she agreed to meet Circle to sell him a pair of used shoes, but quickly became uncomfortable when the conversation shifted. Quote, when I got there, he wanted to sniff my feet. I didn't feel comfortable with that. I mean, you could have had my sneakers all you want. I mean, I don't care. I'm not wearing them. And, they're just old sneakers, but people like weird things. The woman told police she told Circle it would cost him $1,000 because she's a foot model and that's her going rate. She then said she had to get out of the car and excused herself to use the restroom, only to see Circle run out of the room, according to an arrest affidavit. Believing he had stolen her belongings, she chased him into the hotel's parking garage, confronted him as he climbed into a red Mercedes SUV. That's when officers say Circle accelerated towards her, stopped, made a 3-point turn, then struck her with a vehicle. Woman was left with road rash, bruising to her back, arms, and chest.
If I'm going to buy a pair of your used shoes, I do probably need to know how your feet smell. Now, I'm not going to buy used shoes. I've worn used clothing before. I'm not going to pretend like I haven't gotten something at Vapor or whatever. But used shoes is where I draw the line. I am not wearing used shoes.
This guy's got a
used
problem.
Underwear.
Detectives say not the first time he has faced such accusations.
So she was not DTSL, down to smell feet.
Apparently not. Or have you smelled my feet?
Is $1,000 a good price?
I love the fact that she wasn't down for it, but then she was like, you know what, for $1,000, I am down for this.
Tyler, for $1,000, anybody can smell my feet. Yes, to answer your question. Anybody who wants to pay $1,000 can smell my feet.
So you'd let them come up and just grab your foot and smell it?
For $1,000, yes.
Again, it's capitalism.
Yeah.
I mean, the market is the market, whatever it. If $1,000 is $1,000, that's what it is.
I mean, you give me $1,000 in cash, just grab my foot and smell it. You wouldn't do that?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I don't care.
Japanese octogenarian.
$1,500, you tickle it.
Swindled
your feet.
Out of thousands of dollars after falling in love online with a self-described astronaut who sought her help to avert a spaceship crisis. I'll tell you, man, these the ability for some of these people to pull money online with their scams. This one's pretty incredible. Now, the hapless woman in Japan's northern province met the fraudster in July on social media who claimed to be a male astronaut, according to police. After some exchanges, the scammer one day told her he was, quote, in space on a spaceship right now, but was under attack and in need of oxygen. Scammer then urged her to pay him online to help him buy oxygen and successfully hoodwinked her for about $67 American $100.
Should you call NASA? Can you not call NASA,
Yeah,
sir?
no, like my first thing is going to be get online to look for a donation.
Sorry, President Trump defunded it.
Yeah, well, you buy an oxygen tank, I guess. Right?
It's so sad, man.
Well, that's going to be your problem, is getting into space.
Woman lives alone, started developing feelings for him as their online communication progressed. Now, Japan has the world's second oldest population.
Look out your window right
now.
now.
World Bank.
See that star moving? That's me.
So a lot of these
orbiting over you right now.
By.
A lot of the elderly get scammed out.
That is so sad.
I'm touching the spaceship window right now. You touch your finger. It's almost like we're holding hands.
I just need oxygen.
I got to hang up now. I don't want to burn this last bit of oxygen.
I only have so much left.
All right, that is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Our final thought today, also brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Don't forget, tailgating's coming up. Home games this week. Home games this week in Tuscaloosa and Auburn. The excitement through the roof down on the plains. Maybe you need some great, hot, cooked-to-order chicken to get you fired up for the La Monroe game in Tuscaloosa. Either way, Champy's is there for you. Or if you're just going to take it home and watch it, you can get it at champyschicken.com or on Highway 119 in Alabaster. The chicken is brined overnight, cooked to order, open for lunch and dinner, 7 days a week. It is champyschicken.com. Anything else from the teleconference, Brownie, of interest?
Nothing I have seen, Jim, I think of interest. It's still ongoing, though. We'll see what else happens.
We'll have some more of that for you tomorrow. We'll leave you with the fact that the worst, or the best, depending on which side you're looking at it, sponsorship deal has come to the NFL on the Eagles radio broadcast this year. The Tush Push has a sponsorship.
It's got to be toilet paper, right?
Oh, you're very close.
Dude Wipes.
Okay.
That's a Dude Wipes Tush Push for a touchdown. Eagles on top 6-0.
It makes sense.
Capitalism, Jim.
Yep. I mentioned one. You could sell it. I won't say it on the air, but Brown can tell you afterwards.
Dunaway has an angle for you selling Dude Wipes. Yes.
The Dude Wipes, because you use this phrase once every Monday. So, somebody got whipped. It's our Dude Wipes. Somebody got whipped over the weekend. That's our show. We're back with you tomorrow. Bama and Bourbon coming up.
Yep, about to go do it right now.
You're going to need a lot of that bourbon.
It'll be out there this afternoon. Set your alerts. Until next time, God bless you. God bless America.